Welcome to the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report. Here's your host, Liam McHugh.
South Bend, Indiana on a soggy Saturday afternoon. The backdrop for Notre Dame and Stanford, a rivalry that dates back to 1925. Both coaches have compared this contest to a prize fight. Today, Notre Dame Stadium will serve as the soaking wet squared circle. Hey everyone, welcome inside sold-out Notre Dame Stadium. Liam McHugh alongside Doug Flutie and Hines Ward. What do you know? They finally let us out of the studio in New York, and it's raining. We've got wet weather. It's not going away. Who does it benefit?
I really think it benefits Notre Dame. It gives them a big play possibility with Everett Golson at quarterback. The mobile quarterback. That's right, I'm cheering for a mobile quarterback. Mobile quarterback has the opportunity to get out of there and make a big play with his legs when today that the passing game may be at a minimum.
You're right, and I watched a lot of guys warming up, and a lot of guys was wearing silicone gloves. And in this weather, balls will be skipping off their hands all day. Turnovers will be costly in this game.
Notre Dame's the only team that's never trailed at any point during this season. Hines, the big reason, a defense that's only giving up 7.8 points per game. What makes them so dominant?
Well, the Notre Dame defense hasn't given up a touchdown all season long, a rushing touchdown all season long. And the entire front seven, all these guys are NFL prospects. So the time is now for these guys to play, because all these guys will be playing on Sunday soon.
So for Stanford, you're facing a stout defense. You got a wet field. What are you looking to do offensively?
Their identity, man. Run power row, hammer the football. Maybe 3 tight ends, maybe 2 tight ends. Maybe 3 tackles and 2 tight ends. They might put a wideout out there just for fun, but they want to hammer the football north-south, double team, pull that guard, and up through.
If you didn't know Stefan Taylor before, you'll hear his name quite a few times saying he'll be running the football for Stanford. Notre Dame holds a 17-9 all-time advantage in the series with Stanford. It won the last 3 matchups. The first BCS rankings come out tomorrow. Much at stake today. We'll see you at the half. Enjoy the game.
This has been the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report. U.S. Bank, all of us serving you.
The colors of autumn muted on a rainy day, but there's no muting the enthusiasm of Notre Dame fans. Their team unbeaten and ranked number 7, but facing a stern test today from Stanford, which promises to bring out the best of the Irish.
One time a week, you put it on the line. You get one shot. You know what you can do. I know what you can do. You make it happen. Play the music. Play it loud. Play with passion.
The speed burners down the sideline. Touchdown!
Whatever we need to do in our home, they're coming to us. We need to find a way to beat Stanford.
Dive to the end zone. Touchdown! Cardinal! Tipped and intercepted. Thomas has it. Stephon Taylor jukes through. One pass for the goal line. Touchdown!
Stanford's going to win the game.
Today is a game that will determine which team will remain amongst college football's elite. And it's sold out Notre Dame Stadium. In the raindrops, the Irish have just taken the field. Notre Dame unbeaten and ranked 7th in the nation. And here come the Irish. Happened a little early today, as Notre Dame came charging out of the tunnel just a moment ago. There you see Manti Te'o, the man who both coaching staffs proclaimed the best linebacker in college football, Brian Kelly. And there's Manti, who is looking forward to a big game against the Stanford Cardinal today. And in the tunnel leading out to the field at Notre Dame Stadium, Coach David Shaw and the Stanford Cardinal, as a few boos rain down. This has been called the SAT Bowl today, Stanford and Notre Dame. And here are the Cardinal. Stanford with a record of 4-1, ranked number 17. Josh Nunes, the quarterback you saw for a moment there, and there's Coach Shaw. There's Nunes. So welcome to Notre Dame Stadium, everyone. Tom Hammond and Mike Mayock ready for this battle in the rain. In fact, both coaches say the weather shouldn't affect their teams today. And these teams are so similar. It's like two heavyweights standing in the center of the ring, not dancing around, just throwing punch after punch.
And it's great because both coaching staffs using very similar boxing metaphors. And just enjoy this game. I think it's going to be the most physical college football game of the season.
Well, that physicality starts up front on defense. Two of the top sevens, the front sevens in college football.
Yeah, and difference makers that lead these fronts. Now for Stanford, it's Chase Thomas, 6'4", 250 pounds. He's stout in the run game. He's explosive off the edge in their pressure scheme. I know one thing, if you're going to beat Stanford, you got to take the sting at a number 44. Now, for Notre Dame, of course, it's number 5, Manti Te'o. He is the physical and emotional leader of this team. 48 tackles, 3 interceptions. If ever a defensive player should be amongst those considered for a Heisman Trophy, I think it's this year, and I think it's that guy.
Well, another similarity between the two teams, two young quarterbacks trying to find their game.
And coming off their most impressive performances. For Stanford, Josh Nunes last week against Arizona threw for 360 yards, no turnovers. But make no mistake, they're a tight end driven team. Zach Ertz, 6'6". They detach him from the line of scrimmage, use him like a wide receiver, and he is a mismatch for any defensive back or linebacker. Now, Notre Dame is similar. Their quarterback, Everett Golson, coming off his best game. 17 for 22, clean from a turnover perspective. They've got to find ways to get the football to Tyler Eifert, who I think is their best offensive football player.
Should be fun. Two mirror image teams squaring off here today. Let's go down to the field now. Check in with Alex Flanagan.
Hey, Tom. Well, Brian Kelly has never beaten Stanford, and he made sure that his team knew that. He showed them clips of his 2 losses against Stanford, saying that that team has punched him in the nose. Well, this year he wants it to be different. He says his team is different and that they're ready to fight back and they're ready to stop taking the body blows. Of course, Manti Te'o, one of the big difference makers for this team. And hey, guess what, Tom? His parents here, Brian and Otelia, and his baby brother here in the stands, look for Manti to be playing with a little bit of inspiration tonight.
All right, we just got a good shot of them there, Alex, in the stands, in the ponchos, getting ready for the kickoff. By the way, Alex, stay dry. That's a good look for you.
I like their lid there, huh? Pretty fashionable.
And there's Manti. Notre Dame and Manti Te'o will be on the field with their defense first as Stanford won the toss and elected to receive. Back deep, 2 men that have never received an opening kickoff, Wright and Young. And actually now they're going to put Jackson Cummings in there to help receive along with Wright. So Kyle Brinza will kick it off. And he'll bury it into the end zone where Wright will down it. And Stanford will begin from its own 25-yard line. Let's take a look at our starting Adidas lineups now for the Stanford Cardinal, as brought to you by the players themselves.
Sam Schwartzing, South Lake, Texas. And the offensive line calls ourselves the Union because we play together.
Stephon Taylor, Mansfield, Texas. I'm a YouTube sensation known as Kulabafi.
All right. Interesting that Stephon Taylor, the Notre Dame coaches say, Bob Diaco, the defensive coordinator of the Irish, saying the best running back they have faced. So Josh Nunes from Upland, California, with a handoff to Taylor on first down, and he gets about 3 yards. And both coaches telling us that the Stanford offense is pound you, pound you, pound you. Be patient with 2 or 3 yards, because by the end of the game, that pounding is going to pay off.
It's about body punches. Offensive coordinator Pep Hamilton from Stanford saying exactly that. We're going to pound, body, 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 and then somebody's going to win it in the 4th.
Anthony Wilkerson in at running back. In the Wildcat formation, got the direct snap, runs it forward for another 2 or 3 yard gain. So they went to the Wildcat to Wilkerson. And now Nunes will come back on a 3rd down.
When you play Stanford, you've got to be cognizant of personnel groupings. Every snap, there could be 3, 4, 5, 6 different players in. Multiple tackles, multiple tight ends. And in this case, here we are with the 2 tight ends you've got to be aware of.
And as you saw, Stanford has been poor on third down this season. Third down and 3. Nunes from the shotgun. Chase unloads it. Dropped. It got through the defender somehow, and then Ertz was unable to hold it. And so it'll be 3 and out for the Stanford offense.
Yeah, Kavari Russell, the true freshman, playing in a zone underneath. Number 6, he gets a piece, and now he's trying to get under the tight end running behind him. Just a drop, I believe, by Ertz. Let's see if he gets a piece.
Yeah, he did deflect it maybe just a little bit. That can really throw you off. It didn't take much. So Neal to receive the punt and makes a fair catch at the 25-yard line. Stanford started at their 25, went 3 and out. And after a 43-yard punt, it'll be Notre Dame from their own 25-yard line. Here's the Adidas starting lineups now for the Irish offense. Again, the players will bring it to you.
Braxton Cave, Granger, Indiana, Penn High School. Offensive line's nickname is The Rock because we're rock solid.
TJ Jones, Roswell, Georgia. Originally from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
And so with Everett Golson at quarterback off his best game a week ago, the big win in Chicago against Miami. See if that success and that confidence has carried over for him. There's a whistle before we get that first Irish play underway.
By the center, number 52, 5 yards, first down.
And the referee today is Sean Hockley. This Pac-12 crew. Braxton Cave is called for the violation. If that sounds familiar, his dad, Ed Hockley, is a well-known NFL referee.
I'm not sure juniors' guns are as big as seniors.
Pass. Eifert is Golson to Eifert on a first down pass to the 30-yard line. Got back the 5 yards plus another 4. Barry Browning makes the tackle as we look at our Adidas starting defensive lineups for Stanford.
Terrence Stevens, Germantown, Maryland. Ben Gardner is one nasty football player, but he also has one nasty mullet.
Chase Thomas, Marietta, Georgia. Our linebackers are the enforcers on the field.
Terrence Brown, Los Angeles, California. Defensive backs have the most style on the team.
And Sierra Wood given the football for the first time today and carries would-be tacklers with him, churning it out for a gain of 5 yards. Talked about the lineups there. Ben Gardner, the defensive end of the Cardinal, has a mullet hairdo that was sort of a good luck charm. So he's gone back to the mullet hairstyle now. And this front 7 for the Cardinal is formidable.
Yeah, apparently the whole team blames him for the Fiesta Bowl loss because he cut the mullet beforehand.
Here's Golson. Getting across the 35 and close to the first down. They'll spot it enough for the first, it appears. A.J. Tarpley on the tackle for Stanford as Golson sets out with his first run of the game and picks up the Irish first. So they get the 5-yard penalty on first down, but make it up and keep the drive going.
Yeah, good job with the snap also by Golson. This is difficult. Watch from behind. He's trying to go to his left. The ball snapped to his right. That's a planned quarterback keep. And if I'm Notre Dame, I want to attack the edges. I don't really want to get him inside.
Sierra Wood lowered his head, got it to the 39-yard line.
These are the body blows we're talking about here, Tom. And each team has to be patient, I believe.
Trent Murphy will get credit for that stop. Senior from Phoenix. Irish come with 2 tight ends, Eifert and Nicholas. Looking for a first down. Our first down line brought to you by Xerox. Here's the little toss to Atkinson. George Atkinson spun away for a moment. And then at the 40-yard line, he's wrapped up by Jordan Richards and driven back. Gain of 1 on the play for George Atkinson.
The premier matchup of today's game is tight end Troy Nicholas on the linebacker Chase Thomas. They bring him in motion. Now it's 1-on-1. Nobody's been able to block Chase Thomas all year. He did a nice job disengaging from the tight end and forcing the tailback Atkinson back inside.
Notre Dame coach is telling us that Nicholas will be on Thomas, trying to slow him down. 6'7", 260 against the linebacker Thomas. So third down from the shotgun, Golson. Plenty of time, and then it breaks down. Chased by Thomas. Unloads and has his man at midfield. T.J. Jones. That's a gain of 10 and a Notre Dame first down as Golson scrambles, keeps his eyes downfield, and finds Jones.
Now, I think they do a great job picking up pressure off the edge. Here comes Thomas on a twist. Ball's not out because of good coverage. Now, you've got an athletic quarterback who can run away from Thomas and make a play. That's why this kid's starting at quarterback instead of Tommy Rees, right there.
First down Irish, opening drive of the game for Notre Dame. Rolling, whipping it downfield, Jones, and it will be almost intercepted. Barry Browning had a chance of intercepting it. Jones was a bit behind him, but the pass underthrown and incomplete.
Yeah, they had two wide receivers open down the field against man coverage. I think Golson, two things here, Tom. Golson waited too long to throw, and I think the rain impacted him. Didn't come out of his hand cleanly. Both these receivers are against man coverage. They're both winning, Toma and Jones. That ought to be a touchdown if you throw it early and accurately. Ball's delivered way too late, and I think the rain affected it a little bit also.
Well, while Stanford's defense is one of the best in the country, 6th against the run, they're not as stout against the pass, and two receivers were behind the defense. Golson fumbles the snap, and Stanford recovers.
Yep. People ask me all the time, how does rain affect a game? It's usually not as much in the pass game. It's more things you don't anticipate, like the center quarterback exchange, like a punt returner, like a field goal guy holding the football. And here, Golson doesn't get the direct snap from Braxton Cave.
Usua Umanum recovers the fumble for Stanford, and the first turnover of the game gives the ball to Stanford in Notre Dame territory when we return to Notre Dame Stadium.
Grad School Professional Development Team.
Notre Dame football is brought to you by the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1. Note the new way. By Coca-Cola Zero, real Coke taste and 0 calories. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by Adidas. Well, all over campus you see those signs mimicking the play like a champion today in the Notre Dame locker room, which all the players touch on their way to the field.
And I've said it before, Tom, I don't care if you're a Notre Dame fan or a Notre Dame hater. When Notre Dame's relevant, I think it's really good for college football.
Of course, one of the reasons Notre Dame is relevant again is because they've eliminated the turnovers that plagued them last year. And here's a turnover on their first series of this game. Nunez hands to Taylor. Stephon Taylor churning out just short of the 40-yard line. Stopped by Manti Te'o. As we look at our Adidas starting lineups for the Notre Dame defense.
Capron Lewis Moore, Weatherford, Texas, and our D-line gonna get after you.
Manti Te'o, La'ie Hawaii, and I'm an Eagle Scout.
Zeke Mata, Vero Beach, Florida, and Notre Dame's secondary is air traffic control.
They'll get a chance to show it, and there was no air traffic control on that one as Ertz made a sliding grab for a Stanford first down, a gain of 14 yards.
Stanford does a great job off of play action. They pound, they pound, they pound. And Tom, you talked about patience. They don't care if they go +2, +3, +1, +5 in the run game, because sooner or later, like you talked about, the fourth quarter will take over. Plus, the other place you see it is in the play action game. They got a big body in at fullback right now. Number 51, Josh Garnett, the guard, is at fullback.
Right. Going back to the Notre Dame defense after he made it to the 21-yard line, a gain of 6. Zeke Mata led the defensive charge.
Josh Garnett, 325-pound true freshman. Where do you think they're going to run it? Right up the middle. They're going to wham Lewis Nix. Drop the pad level. Ramon Wright does a nice job. And Tom, this is just exemplifies what I'm talking about. Personnel groupings, extra guards and tackles in the game. The common denominator is it doesn't matter because they're coming after you. That's the bottom line. Unbalanced to the left this side.
And the ball off to Taylor. Made a spin move to get free and then stopped at about the line of scrimmage by Danny Spahn.
Manti Te'o has been so good this year because I just think he's so instinctive and he reads things so quickly. That was an unbalance to the left side. They had an extra tackle in the game on the left. Te'o read it, flashed, and even though he didn't make the tackle, that's why he was tackled at the line of scrimmage.
So the ball just shy of the Notre Dame 20. Here's a third down. Third down and 4. Nunes from the shotgun.
We're having confusion on the Notre Dame side. Shenbo lined up incorrectly and a timeout called by Notre Dame.
So Notre Dame calls the timeout as defenders are running all the way around, not knowing quite where to line up. So they'll try to get things straightened out. It'll be another third down when play resumes at Notre Dame Stadium.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, the Notre Dame defense has been so great this season. The Irish have not trailed. They haven't allowed a rushing TD. And 39 points allowed in the first 5 games, the fewest since 1976. So Stanford with a third down and 4 from the 21-yard line of the Irish.
Tight end Zach Ertz lined up the third guy from the bottom of the screen right here. He's their go-to receiver.
Now resetting. Nunes goes and it's intercepted. Going in the corner of the end zone, and Bennett Jackson picks it off, his 4th interception of the season. So Nunes intercepted, another third down failure for Stanford, another huge play by the Notre Dame defense.
Really impressed with how quickly Bennett Jackson has come along as a corner. Came here as a wide receiver. They're in a cover 2 situation. He gets a redirection and then comes back underneath the receiver Whitfield, high points the football. And it's a good thing he did if you're a Notre Dame fan, because Zeke Mata was caught inside with another receiver. If that ball had been thrown towards the back of the end zone, I think they have a problem.
Well, it was intended, though, for Whitfield, and Bennett Jackson picks it off, and the Irish will take over.
It's all about takeaways and giveaways for me with this Irish team. Look at that. Last year, through an entire season, they only took the ball away 14 times. Here we are, Tom, not even at the halfway point, just as many this year.
And the Irish, though, backed up. They take over at their 1. They come with 3 tight ends, Eifert, Koyak, and Nicholas.
That quarterback sneak doesn't.
Nope. The handoff to Riddick. And Theo Riddick crosses the 5 to the 6-yard line. So a 5-yard gain on first down for the Irish, backed up deep.
Gain of 5 for the 6.
Well, if you're a fan of toughness, of physicality, you're going to love this football game.
Now the Irish spread it out a bit on second down and 5. Bolson rolling to his right, fakes, punt once. Now he's going to get under the end zone. Does get out of the end zone, makes a little move to get to the 9-yard line. So disaster averted on the scramble by Everett Golson.
And they double team Chase Thomas and try to sprint his way. So Thomas is number 44. Look at 85 on him and then 6. Double team him. Golson doesn't like what he sees. He feels from behind the pressure from Henry Anderson and cuts it up and actually gets positive yardage. Now this will give you a heart attack if you're an Irish fan. Golson double pump faking out of the end zone and ultimately picking up positive yards and setting up a very manageable third down situation.
Picked up a late block from Zach Martin that helped things out. And so here's Golson, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, and then throws off his back foot. Well short and incomplete, intended for Robbie Toma. So the Irish will be forced to punt from their end zone.
Take the sting out of Chase Thomas. Watch 44. If you can't block him, you can't win. Now, again, Troy Nicholas, bad job. He drops his head. Immediate pressure from Chase Thomas. It doesn't show up in the stat sheet anywhere, but he forced a punt.
So Turk is on to punt, averaging 40 yards a boot. And Terrell, one of the best returners around, calls for a fair catch and makes it at the Stanford 47-yard line. A 44-yard punt with no return. 6:13 left, opening quarter at Notre Dame. Scoreless, Stanford and the Irish. Check out Notre Dame Extra on NBCSports.com for an online-only bonus camera, live coverage of the halftime band, and you can now stream the game live from your mobile device with the new NBC Sports Live Extra app. That's all at NBCSports.com/IndyExtra. Josh Nunes filling big shoes with the departure of Andrew Luck. Here's what Luck accomplished for the Cardinal. And Josh telling us that it was a pleasure to play behind Andrew Luck. He learned a lot and said pressure, well, there's always inherent pressure on Stanford quarterback. They've had so many good ones.
Unbalanced again. And the 94 Kyle Murphy in.
And off to Hewitt. Ryan Hewitt with his first carry of the game and only the 5th of the season. Gains him 5 yards.
Interesting talking about Luck and Nunes. The thing that I took away from it talking to the coach, David Shaw, was when Andrew Luck started his first year, he was a 52% completion guy. And everybody's getting on Nunes right now. He's only at 54%. He's thrown some interceptions. Point being to the Stanford faithful, you got to have some patience with this kid, first year starter.
Nunes coming off his best game, 360 yards and 5 touchdowns in the overtime win over Arizona last week. Penalty marker down. It's like a illegal procedure against Stanford.
By the offense, number 65. 5 yards, second down.
Khalil Wilkes with the false start sets Shaw and the Cardinal back 5 yards.
Yeah, I really thought that ball in the red zone that Nunes threw for the interception was underthrown. I thought he had an opportunity. Both teams right now have kind of squandered opportunities. Notre Dame with the center quarterback exchange and Stanford with the interception.
4 wides, shotgun Nunes. Josh Nunes across the middle completes a flag. 2 flags down. One of them came in late from the referee. Ertz made the catch and tackled by Teo.
I've said several times this year, I think the most improved part of Teo's game is pass coverage. And
The flags on the play. Holding by the offense, number 73. 10 yards, replay, second down.
Cameron Fleming called for a hold.
David Shaw is an impressive guy. I mean, if you want to draw up a guy that should be the head coach at Stanford, I really believe this is the guy. You know, his father, Willie Shaw, 33 years a coach, had 2 different stints at Stanford. David's a Stanford grad, class of 95, and I think he's one of the most professional coaches I've ever run into.
High formation on second down and 20. Here's the handoff to the tailback. Stopped about the 45-yard line. That's an 8-yard gain on second and long.
Now, if you're going to run this draw, you've got to block Teo. Watch the fullback Hewitt get on Teo. Teo recognizes immediately. Good job, because he's able to run through the arm tackle of Teo. So Hewitt on Teo again. We talk about Chase Thomas for Stanford. It's Manti Teo, the guy you have to account for every play for Notre Dame.
So Kelsey Young got 8 yards, setting up this third down and 12.
At the alert screen here.
Nunes to his right, now back to the left, off the chest and incomplete. Jamal Rashad Patterson couldn't hold on. It would have been close to a first down. But a punting situation again for the Cardinals.
This was a full field read by the quarterback. He started looking all the way to his right, came back all the way to his left for Jamal Rashad Patterson. And if that was a spear, it would have killed him. You got to use your hands. You can't let that into your chest because those shoulder pads are really hard.
Daniel Zaklinski for his second punt. Kneel deep for Notre Dame. Nice snap. Zaklinski takes it. Booms it downfield. Good punt. It'll hit and bound into the end zone for the touchback. 54-yard punt, but take 20 off that for the Nets. And that's where the Irish will put it in play when we come back. Raindrops off the Golden Dome of the administration building on the Notre Dame campus today. 55 degrees. 13-mile-an-hour wind, but the rain continues. It doesn't appear to be too heavy at the moment. The band in their raincoats. And the radar shows us a lot of rain. A little to the west doesn't look so bad, but maybe more rain later on. Alex?
Well, speak for yourself up there, Tom, but it doesn't look so bad. It's been pretty wet down here. It's been raining for a couple of hours. Just a few logistics that happen when that happens. On the last offensive series, the referees started drying off every football in between snaps.
So Notre Dame on first down to Sierra Wood. Hard at about the 25 by Alex Carter.
Bumped out by 25, Alex Carter.
Really like the way Notre Dame's front is taking care of the scheme and blitz package. That was a run blitz by Stanford, and Shane Scove got picked up very well by offensive center Braxton Cave. Thomas. Here he is. You got to identify him pre-snap every play.
Not much there for Theo Riddick. In fact, might have lost a yard on the play. Again, it was Carter on the defensive play for the Stanford Cardinal, the freshman from Ashburn, Virginia.
Created the 1-yard loss.
I've really enjoyed watching kind of a metamorphosis of Brian Kelly over the last few years. He comes from Cincinnati. They spread everything, throw it 50 times a game. Now he's got a great defense that he hangs his hat on with a run game to match. I give him credit for adapting his scheme to his personality.
Third down and 6. Golson stands in the pocket. Downfield. Incomplete as DeVaris Daniels tried to make a one-hand stab. Defended by Carter again, who was prominent on that series. And Golson was hit as he released. Brian Kelly saying Stanford likes to intimidate quarterbacks.
Yeah, and that's Chase Thomas again. We've seen him from the outside. That's a loop inside. That's an X stunt where he's coming all the way into the center guard gap, and Mike Golick had trouble with him, and he impacted the throw again.
Turk, the punt to Terrell. Nice punt. Terrell about the 32-yard line, right up the middle. Can't get away. Twisted down after a 44-yard punt and 5 yards on the return. 2:20 left, first quarter. Stanford and Notre Dame still scoreless. Sunday night is football night. Don't miss America's Game of the Week as the Packers head to Houston. Bob Costas hosts Football Night in America live from Houston. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on NBC. Well, all the rain gear out at Notre Dame Stadium today, but a full house as always as the Cardinal and the Irish battling through a scoreless first quarter. Stanford takes over at the 36-yard line. Not sure what happened. Well, they respotted the football.
Yep. Side judge came in and gave an extra 6 inches to a foot.
High formation on this first down play. Taylor's the tailback. Gets the handoff. And opening for a moment, and then it shuts down after a gain of 5 yards.
Talked about missed opportunities, Tom. And again, a young quarterback makes mistakes, and one of them is you stare people down. Now, look at the slot receiver down the middle of the field. He holds the safety, which means the corner now is going to be responsible to sink back under. But because he stared it down, it was a great job by Bennett Jackson sinking back under, catching the football, but Nunes had to throw that at the back pylon, not the front one.
Second down and 5. Nunes lays it up top, picked off again. Intercepted by Matthias Farley. Farley reversing his field, picks up another block. Farley with a convoy down the sideline and will be out of bounds inside the 20. Matthias Farley, the sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, with his first career interception, and then he returns it 46 yards.
Danny Fox does a great job underneath. Watch 48 underneath. He's going to force a high throw, but look at the quarterback staring it down. Bad throw, an even worse decision, and the young Farley makes him pay for it. Look, he's staring. Well, I'd love to play free safety right there because your underneath coverage does their job. All you have to do is sit up top, and it's easy pickings. Good job, Matthias Farley.
Farley, who came late to football, he was telling us yesterday that he played soccer till he was a junior in high school. So he is just learning the game of football. He's learning pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's an interesting kid, isn't he?
He was delightful to talk to.
Yep.
So from the 16, Notre Dame trying to take advantage of the turnover. Golson chased, got rid of it at the last second, intended for Toma, or Riddick it was, and hit right at his feet, incomplete, as Murphy was bearing down on Golson.
Now, opportunities again, Tom. Watch Nicholas right here, right down the seam against cover 2. If he can hang in there and read the field, safety split, if you just hang in there, you've got him. The problem is the right tackle, Lombard, gave up some pressure, and Trent Murphy made him pay for it.
Second down and 10. And off to Riddick. Dancing, finding a seam, and to the 12-yard line. It'll bring up third down for the Irish. Devin Carrington gets credit for the tackle, as you see the pressure that Golson has been under. And is he being intimidated by the Stanford defense like they?
I don't see any intimidation yet, but they take pride, this Cardinal unit. You talk to Derek Mason, he talks about rush and coverage. In the one game they gave up a ton of points, they felt like they were too soft. A lot of three-man rush, drop 8.
Golson for the end zone, open, and then the ball just took too long to get there and enabled Jordan Richards to knock it down. T.J. Jones was open, but the ball hanging up took too long to get there, and Richards recovered nicely.
Yeah, they pumped the bubble screen, trying to get everybody to come up, which happens, but the safety from behind does a great job on the read. Richards and just gets a finger on it. They got everything they wanted, but the ball's got to come early, and it's got to come with some RPMs. But at that time, I give Jordan Richards a ton of credit.
Golson hit his first 3 passes. He's now missed his last 5. So Brinza for a 29-yard field goal. Brinza's boot is up and through the uprights, good. So the second Stanford turnover results in a Notre Dame lead as they kick the field goal to go ahead 3-0 after the first career interception by Matthias Farley of Notre Dame. Time now for Mercedes-Benz top performances. In 1990, the top-ranked Irish faced Stanford. Cardinal running back Tommy Vardell scored 4 touchdowns. And then Derek Brown of the Irish dropped the potential game-winning touchdown pass from Rick Meyer as the Cardinal upset the #1 ranked Irish 36-31. And that's our Mercedes-Benz top performances. Touchdown Tommy Vardell, 4 scores against the Irish. Notre Dame has just gotten the turnover, the interception, and turned it into 3 points with 36 seconds to go in the first quarter. Now 30-3 in the first period by the Irish.
Even more impressive because Stanford has gotten out to a lot of quick starts also. Both teams used to being dominant in the first quarter. So far, again, I keep going back to turnovers. +1 today. That defense stopped Stanford after the first turnover. It's defense and turnovers this Notre Dame season.
Brinza will kick it off. Right, halfway through the end zone, takes a knee. Touchback to the 25, and of course Stanford has had such great success in recent years. Turnaround began after that 1-win season in 2006, and look what happened after that. And a lot of the credit goes to the fact they changed their character from a finesse team to a hard-nosed football team, what Jim Harbaugh demanded and what David Shaw has continued for the Stanford Cardinal. First 4 possessions, just 1 first down and 2 interceptions. Trying to get something going here with a handoff to Taylor. And Stefan, tough to bring down, stopped short of the 30.
Another unbalanced line by Stanford. By that I mean on the backside, all they have is a guard and a tight end. I mean, look, here's Tololo, the tight end. On the front, guard, tackle, tackle, tackle. So it's unbalanced to the left, and they're coming after you. This is Stanford football. Tom just talked about the physicality and what turned this program around. Folks, that's it right there. They'll take 4 yards. He helped them up.
And the whistles will stop that one.
Boy, this is fun.
And Kevin Hogan is in at quarterback. And we're waiting for the call.
The game clock hit 0 seconds before any of the action. Therefore, the movement by the offense, which caused the defense to react, is no foul. That's the end of the first quarter.
It is indeed the end of the first quarter. And the first quarter ends with Notre Dame leading Stanford 3-0. We'll return to South Bend after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football at NBC, presented by the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1. Ed Hockley, the NFL referee, posing with the Notre Dame cheerleaders. His son Sean is the referee today. Second quarter about to unfold. It begins with a 2nd down and 6 for Stanford at their own 29-yard line. Roman Wright, tough yard to the 30.
Boy, you want to talk about stout. Lewis Nix in the middle of that front line. The more coaches I talk to around the country, the more are having an awareness of Lewis Nix. And Tom, we talked to him yesterday. He said that he went from a high of about 370 pounds when he got here. Now he's 337, and when he plays with leverage and he's not winded, he's as good as any nose tackle in the country.
Several times the Stanford coaches were saying, you know, he's among the best there is. The junior from Jacksonville, Florida, now on the sideline on this 3rd down. 3rd and 5.
That's Ertz in motion.
Nunes stands in the pocket, and the pass is broken up at the last minute by Manti Te'o. So it looked for a moment as if Toilolo had it, and
they're going to get a roughing the passer here. Good job by Te'o, but the throw comes out.
So roughing the passer.
At the very end, I don't understand why Tuitt would go anywhere near him at that point. He knows it. Now, Nunes gets an Emmy, but it's a 1st down for Stanford and a mistake by Notre Dame.
So Notre Dame penalty keeps the drive going. Brian Kelly can't be happy about that turn of events. The ball out to the 45-yard line. 1st down, Stanford. Nunes hands off. And Kelsey Young. Danny Spond hit him hard.
Yeah, Spahn came under, and
Mata.
Yeah, Mata finished it up, and I think Zeke Mata, you talk about physicality and toughness. This is one of the tougher safeties in the country. The hit by Spahn, who's underrated, number 13 there, plays off the block. Mata comes over the top. That's the kind of game we have today, folks.
Handed to Taylor. Stephon Taylor to midfield. And just across into Irish territory, setting up another 3rd down for Stanford.
Tom, I was talking about Spahn a moment ago, and what an interesting story he's been. And you want to talk about a little bit of a guy that might not have ever played again. Danny Spahn, a few weeks ago, was in the hospital with testing for these crazy migraine headaches he had. Worried about never playing again. They cleared him. He's on no medication, and I think he's kind of stabilized the outside linebacker position for the Irish.
At first, they weren't sure what was the problem. They thought it was something very serious, like a stroke or something. Finally diagnosed as migraine headache. So here's a 3rd down and 4. This will stop the play. Flag down.
Yep, too long.
Delay of game, Stanford.
Or did they get a
no,
timeout?
maybe called a timeout.
Delay of game by the offense. 5 yards, 3rd down.
So tried to call timeout, didn't get it in time. Delay of game penalty. Stanford's had some costly penalties. Well, now they change the ruling and say they did get a timeout in time. They say that David Shaw over on the sideline did call timeout before the play clock expired.
Third down's very, very revealing right there. 31%, and today 0 for 3.
So here's David Shaw in his second season after succeeding Jim Harbaugh. Was a player at Stanford, a wide receiver from 91 to 94. Began his coaching career in the NFL with the Eagles, Raiders, and Ravens. Then was with Harbaugh at the University of San Diego before becoming the Stanford offensive coordinator and then taking over, succeeding Harbaugh as the head coach in 2011. Third down and 4. Nunes steps up. His pass is on target and caught by Ertz. So Ertz will have a Stanford first down to the 35-yard line. That's a 23-yard strike on third down. Nunes to Ertz.
And a little confusion because Nunes is along with Terrell. Terrell broke early underneath. Obviously, Bennett Jackson didn't get back underneath with the safety behind. Wide open and easy to make that throw.
Taylor ducks out of bounds in front of Kavari Russell, but not until he had a big gain on first down.
Yeah, he's a tough kid, Tom, and you mentioned Bob Diaco talking about it. He said, I love this kid. There's nothing soft to hit. Here comes up-tempo now. No huddle, they're ready to go.
After an 8-yard gain on first down, here's the eye, and a handoff to Taylor again, dancing at the line of scrimmage. He'll be close to the first down.
Unbalanced line again. Dylan Bennell, number 96. 6'4", 281 in the game as an extra tackle.
Just short of the first down. It'll be third down and a yard.
You notice there's no name on the back of that jersey. Bennell usually wears a different number, 75. But when he's in the game in that package, he's an eligible receiver, so he has to change his jersey. Those big fat guys don't like changing jerseys often, Tom.
It's not that easy.
No.
Third down and a yard. Tight formation. Whistles blow. Timeout Stanford.
Wow. Timeout Stanford. Their second charge timeout of the half.
So Stanford still facing a crucial 3rd and 1 here in the second quarter. 11:34 to go. Second quarter, 3-0 Notre Dame over Stanford. Third down and a yard for the Cardinal, deep in Notre Dame territory. Taylor has the first down. Slammed to the turf at about the 11. That'll be first down. Stanford, a gain of 6 to Stephon Taylor.
Both tight ends on the same side of the line of scrimmage. Toilolo and Ertz over here, and then the fullback. Watch him right here. He's really a good power fullback. Ryan Hewitt gets on the corner. Good power running first down.
Here he is again. Taylor broke a tackle in the backfield, and Teo and others slammed him down inside the 10.
Tom, we watched an awful lot of film of this Stanford offense, and when they were most effective in the red zone, number 11, Toilolo, became the receiver. So either David Shaw wants to run it down your throat with the power game, or he wants to fake it and find 11 somewhere. Alert number 11.
Toilolo is 6'8". Difficult matchup for smaller defensive backs.
He's in line right now, and that's his. Watch him on some kind of crossing or quick pop pass.
Nunes under center, changing the play. Nunes looks to the end zone under pressure, then goes to the sideline, and it's incomplete, intended for Hewitt.
Yeah, I think he wanted Toilolo, but Notre Dame isn't dumb. They know what's happening in the red zone. Watch people hit him and double team him. Spawn 13. Here comes Mata, 17, 5, Teo. They're going to double team Toilolo all over the red zone, no matter where he's lined up.
Third down and 7 from the Notre Dame 9.
Ernst in the middle. Cololo on the backside.
Nunes, shovel pass to Taylor. He'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Stephon Tuitt was the first man to hit him. Remember, this drive kept alive by the roughing the passer penalty on Tuitt.
Fox and Tuitt do a great job here. Fox here, Tuitt across. Force the pitch back inside. Here comes Danny Fox cleaning it up. That's discipline on the goal line. Nunes scored 2 touchdowns on option last week against Arizona.
Jordan Williamson will attempt a 25-yard field goal to tie the game. Williamson shanked it left.
High snap. The high snap caused a huge problem there, Tom. It's a wet day. It's tough enough anyway. Williamson has struggled, and then the high snap compounds all of it.
And you saw all of the pounding on the shoulder pads for Stephon Tuitt. His costly penalty didn't prove to be so costly as Stanford misses a field goal and fails to score. Irish ball when we come back. Stephon Tuitt, number 7, prolonged the Stanford drive with a roughing the passer, then made amends. First of all, a high snap, and then Williamson's kick deflected by Stephon Tuitt as he makes amends for that penalty. Big number 7 with a paw up there to deflect it. And it wasted Stanford's first sustained drive today as they went 12 plays, 67 yards, come up empty. Notre Dame now from the 20. Golson makes the fake, finds tight end Eifert for a first down. That's a gain of 13 yards. First down, Notre Dame.
I'd like to see this come out more quickly, but again, a young quarterback. There's the fake, plant and get it out. Don't pat the football. If you pat the football, it gives other players like Scove and Carrington an opportunity to make a play.
Ball at the 33-yard line. First down, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame timeout. There's a problem with personnel on the sidelines.
Notre Dame. That's a 30-second
So the
timeout.
Irish take their second timeout of this first half. Notre Dame football is brought to you by the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1. Note the new way. By Gatorade. Gatorade knows it all begins within. Win from within. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Share Everything only from Verizon. And a look inside the Stanford Football Hall of Fame in Palo Alto. On the farm, that beautiful campus of Stanford University. Now back to first down for the Irish. Fake by Golson, has to throw it away. So Henry Anderson bearing down on Everett Golson causes him to throw it away. It'll be second down and 10.
Anderson's really a good football player. Watch him off the edge here with Lombard. Comes up the field. His nickname is Goose. And I couldn't figure out why. I thought maybe he looks like Goose or whatever. But apparently, Tom, he's so bad in playing Madden football, he can't score. So it's been nothing but goose eggs. And the whole team calls him the Goose.
Henry, the junior from Atlanta, Woodward Academy, where he had 9.5 sacks in an all-state senior season and was state champion in the shot put. Atkinson. Unable to get free, but does pick up about 5.
They're banging each other inside. Wow, it's just physical stuff. It's fun to watch. Murphy fell back on the tackle after he got a wham block from the tight end. I mean, there's just people at home tuning in. It's only 3-0, and we're seeing 70-63 in college football, and I'm tired of 70-63. I really am. I'm liking this right here.
Riddick was able to fall on it.
Right at the mesh point. Now remember, we already have the quarterback Everett Golson with a center quarterback exchange. This time it's a high snap and he's late. See the high snap? You're way too late to try and get that. I think a veteran quarterback would have just faked it and rolled with it to his right. It's too late to try and force a handoff.
Fourth down for Notre Dame. Ben Turk in punt formation. Terrell awaits it. Sailing punt by Turk. Terrell at the 21. Broke free for a moment before he's twisted to the turf at the 34-yard line. 46-yard punt, 13 on the return. Jarrett Grace made his saving special teams tackle for the Irish. Next Saturday, two of the nation's top defenses collide here in South Bend as the Irish host BYU on Notre Dame Saturday. That's next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern here on NBC.
Here's Harry Heastan in the offensive line.
Not too pleased at the moment. 14-7 Oregon State leading BYU as the Cougars are playing this afternoon against a ranked team. Nunes, delayed handoff to Taylor. And a tough run by Stefan.
You know, if you're going to beat Notre Dame, Tom, I think you've got to throw the football somewhat efficiently. You don't need to have a huge game, but you've got to throw the ball efficiently. And I really think that Nunes has started out slowly. He's 3 for 8, a couple of interceptions. This kid's got to calm down. Had his best game a week ago against Arizona. He threw the ball 34 times, no interceptions for almost 400 yards.
Upping the tempo again, 2nd down and 5. Play action fake. Nunes, no pressure. Rolls to his right. Throws underneath it, incomplete, intended for Terrell. Russell defending as we go down to Alex.
Yeah, well, you guys just showed us how Josh has struggled so far in this game. But if you talk to his coaches, one of the things that they say is his strengths, is his poise and his ability to really erase his memory. He can have a bad play and wipe it away and go back out. I really haven't seen a lot of frustration from him here on the sideline. He seems to be poised, and we'll have to wipe away those 2 picks early and get back into this game.
3rd down and 5. Nunes hit, throws incomplete. Mata was defending Toilolo, and Nunes took a hit just as he delivered the football.
Yeah, Stephon Tuitt, to me, is becoming one of the best defensive linemen in college football. Little swim technique, gets through, makes the hit on the quarterback. The ball probably still should have been caught. Now, Tuitt is 6'6", 303 pounds, and here they go again, quickly out of punt formation.
Zalinski running to Neal. By the first man. Flag is down, though. Might have been a block in the back. To the 30-yard line, but Notre Dame's going to be backed up. 42-yard punt, 11 on the return, but a penalty.
Yeah, the referee right behind the punt returner did not throw the flag. The side judge from about 30 yards away did, with a different angle. Be a block in the back on the gunner.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the return team. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Little tic-tac a little bit, but you can't make the case that it wasn't.
We'll take a break. 3-0 Irish.
At Notre Dame Stadium, do just that and spend a week on campus playing.
As expected, a hard-fought defensive battle. 3-0 Notre Dame. 1st and 10 line brought to you by Xerox. The Irish start from their own 10-yard line after the penalty on the punt. Golson scrambling. He'll lose about 5 yards as he's pushed out of bounds by A.J. Tarpley.
You know, had an opportunity to talk to Chase Thomas by phone the other day, and I thought it was interesting talking to him about the differences he saw on tape with the Notre Dame football team this year versus the last 2 years. And basically what he said is, hey, they're getting in 3-point stances now. They're coming off the ball and they're attacking people, whereas the last couple of years they've been kind of a little bit more of a finesse team. So he certainly has seen the physicality of this team, and I think Paul Longo, their strength and conditioning coach, is a guy that really has taken them to the next level with their toughness.
Chase Thomas, the All-American linebacker from Stanford. Play clock to 1. Golson from his own end zone. Managed to backpedal and throw the ball. And incomplete as he averted a safety.
We were just talking Chase Thomas, right? Wait till you see this move. He puts on, I believe, Troy Nicholas. And remember, this is in the end zone, folks. You can't mess around in your own end zone. Now, here he is on Nicholas. Grabs the jersey. It's called a push-pull with an arm over. That is a phenomenal move for a college kid, and an even better move by Golson to get away and have the presence of mind to throw it away. There's the push-pull, arm over. Look at the spin move by Golson. Dude, you're in the end zone. How about this? That's really a good job.
Third down. Golson again from his end zone and will be sacked. Fumble recovered by Stanford for a touchdown.
There is a fumble.
Stanford defense. Talk about.
And it was Chase Thomas.
Yep, hitting the quarterback, being relentless. Thomas comes up with the football. I think Gardner, 49 on Lombard right there. And then there comes Gardner from behind. That's the hit that causes the fumble that Thomas got. So really, it was Ben Gardner forcing the fumble from the left. Big hit. You've got to have an internal clock as a quarterback when you're standing in your own end zone. That ball has to come out.
Intimidate the quarterback. Yes. The Stanford game plan. Fumble for the touchdown as Williamson tacks on the point after. So for the first time this season, Notre Dame trails. It's Stanford 7-3 over the Irish. And so whole new territory for Notre Dame now. And it was the turnover, the thing that had been so much better this season versus last. It comes back to bite the Irish with that fumble in the end zone by Golson on the hit and recovered by Stanford.
2 turnovers by both teams. The Irish defense has done a great job. Let's face it, they haven't given up a touchdown in 3 games. Now here we are in game 4 from that scenario, and it's the offense that gives up a touchdown, and it's a young quarterback who's got to be aware he's in the end zone, and as good a job as he did the previous play getting rid of the football, that time the tackle gets beat, and then he compounds the mistake by holding on to the ball.
And of course it all started with a penalty. It started with the block in the back, penalty on the punt that put them in such dire field position, and they wound up costing them 7 points, and the first time they have trailed this season. Reese has been the relief pitcher, but Coach Kelly telling us the plan was to stay with Golson as long as possible. So we see Reese kind of adjusting the headgear. Will he go to his relief man? We'll find out. Here's the kickoff by Williamson. George Atkinson from the goal line. Flag is down. Atkinson stopped at the 22-yard line. Penalty marker.
That's on Notre Dame. It's another penalty costing them field position. Half the distance time will put them back, what, on
During
about the
the
12?
return, holding by the return team, number 59. 10 yards, first down.
Jarrett Grace with the hold.
So Grace with the holding penalty, and again the Irish are backed up. This was the same scenario as a moment ago when they were backed up on a penalty in the kicking game and wound up giving up a touchdown on the fumble in the end zone. So from the 13-yard line, Golson still the quarterback as he hands off with Theo Riddick. Riddick breaking it for a moment and crosses the 25 for an Irish first down. That helps their cause. It goes for 12 yards. Terrence Brown finally got Theo Riddick to the ground.
Your right guard Mike Golick going to pull. Gets up into the hole. Good cut behind, though. Sees Shane Scove overrun the play. Riddick cuts up behind. Big first down and helps with the field position battle for Notre Dame.
5.5 to go in the second quarter.
You know, dominant defenses and young quarterbacks, Tom. It's kind of what you expect, you know.
Blitz comes. Notre Dame picks it up, and Golson finds his target, Jones. TJ made a nice move, and another. And he's to the 45-yard line. Big play for Notre Dame. That one good for 20.
Boy, they did a great job, and Tom, you called it correctly. It was a linebacker X-stunt. Tarpley, Scove. They do a great job picking it up. The pattern is well done, and then the missed tackle by Lyons. See, TJ Jones catches the football, makes Lyons miss. 2 consecutive big plays by Notre Dame.
They're at the 45. So Thomas cheating up, and here he comes. Makes a spin move and gets to Golson just a beat too late. Golson got rid of it to Riddick.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Golson's not looking front side, where he's got man-to-man to the wide side of the field. As soon as he sees Thomas coming off the edge, he knows he's got man coverage to that side, and that should be his primary read.
Riddick out of the game. Sierra Wood in. Second down and 10.
About Texas Tech spanking West Virginia right now. Geno Smith, the Heisman Trophy role, being slightly derailed.
BYU and Oregon State knotted up. Under center, Golson fakes the handoff. Pumps once. Now starts to scramble. He's got a lot of daylight. Everett Golson inside the 35 of Stanford, down to the 30-yard line, close to it as Scove chases him down after a gain of 23 yards.
Tavares Daniels, he was rolling to the other side. Here's what he wanted right here, but the safety came over top of the double move right there, Jordan Richards, which is why he pulled the football down and ran it.
So from the 32 where they spotted, first down Notre Dame. In the fake and under pressure. Just has to unload downfield. And Golson winds up on the seat of his pants with Henry Anderson taking him down.
Derek Mason continues to bring the house. This time Uswa Amanam, the nickel's going to come off this side, pressures the quarterback, and they got to get rid of it along with the goose, Henry Anderson.
Second down and 10. Rolling right, pass caught at the 25-yard line by Daniel Smith.
Smith is a big-bodied wide receiver they use predominantly in a blocking role. That's his 5th catch of the year at 6'4", 215.
He's a junior from South Bend Clay High School.
7.
Notre Dame offense trying to answer the Stanford touchdown.
3.5 minutes to go in the first half.
This is Eifert territory here. Stanford will be very aware of him. Chase Thomas walks underneath him, and here's Chase Thomas.
Golson's going to keep it. And a nice move. And he has the first down at the 15-yard line where he's covered by Anderson. Everett Golson on a planned carry, 13 yards.
I really like the planned quarterback runs because I think against Stanford you've got to get that extra blocker. It was a poor snap again, and it was a really nice job by the quarterback Golson catching it and getting up the field.
Golson's in the shotgun. And to Riddick. And Theo thrown back after he got inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Tarpley, the center of the defense.
Tom, I'm pretty impressed with this drive because it's kind of an emotional letdown. The offense is out there. You give up a touchdown after your defense has battled so hard. Your special teams unit comes out. Penalty, balls on your own 12-yard line. Now they've got to finish.
Second down, 8. To the 10-yard line.
This is so physical. Troy Nicholas and Braxton Cave. You know, this is one where you pack your lunch. You pack your lunch because you know it's getting in the fourth quarter and somebody's going to make a big mistake in the fourth quarter.
Third down and 4 from the 10-yard line.
Quarterback run has been pretty good so far in the red zone for Notre Dame. But you got to alert tight end Eifert. Looks like he's got single coverage up top.
Blitz. Wilson. Throws it, and it's incomplete. Robbie Toma could not hold on.
Trent Murphy gets a piece, but this has to be a pre-snap situation, Tom. It's a heavy blitz. You've got one-on-one. Look, they're bringing everybody here. You've got one-on-one with your best football player, Tyler Eifert, out on the edge. You know blitz is coming. Hang in the pocket, throw it up in the air, and let Eifert make a play. This means nothing to me right here. I mean, that's a late throw to Toma. Good job by Stanford. It's got to happen pre-snap with that quarterback.
So Kyle Brinza with a 28-yard field goal attempt. He made one earlier by a snap. And so the Irish, after the nice-looking drive, fall apart in the final plays. And Stanford will take over on downs. So only 1:34 left in the first half. Turk couldn't handle the snap. It was too high. Stanford takes over. 1:34 left in the first half, and coming up, the Discover Card halftime report with Liam McHugh, Doug Flutie, and Hines Ward taking over from the field. They're down on the field and have been there this rainy afternoon, huddled under the umbrellas. They'll have all the scores and highlights from around college football. So a bad snap on the field goal attempt. Stanford takes over and get a big gainer on first down. That's good for 12 yards to Terrell. Manti Te'o the tackle. Notre Dame had their best drive of the day. 10 plays, 77 yards. They get no points. Hurry up by Stanford. Nunes with a screen pass to Taylor. Taylor using his blockers. He crosses midfield down to the 46-yard line where Capron Lewis Moore chases him down, but he gained 15.
Yeah, Kevin Dancer, the right guard, did a great job in the open field of cutting Carlo Calabrese, and that's what set Taylor out in the open field.
Clock stopped momentarily for the chains to move on the first down. Nunes. Open receiver is Ertz. He'll have it short of the first down, just short of the 40 as Danny Spahn wraps him up there. That's a gain of 7. Stanford with only one timeout remaining. We're inside the final minute of the half.
Yeah, both teams burning 2 timeouts because of personnel issues.
Nunes hands off to Taylor. Taylor close to the first down. See where they spot it. It will be enough for a Stanford first down. Clock stops again. Kavari Russell on the tackle with 36 seconds remaining and still a timeout in their pocket. Nunes through the hands of Taylor. Stops the clock with 26 seconds.
Taylor has 15 catches on the year. Typically a sure-handed receiver. Wet ball, little RPM on it, little velocity on it. They'll work the ball in a little bit extra long on a day like today.
Nunes. Terrell holds on despite the hit from Bennett Jackson. That's a 7-yard gain. And now down to 15, 14. Clock stopped for the first down.
By far the best pace I've seen from Nunes all day long. Ball's out quickly, and Terrell has done a nice job stepping in as a wide receiver and making a play.
And they'll call the timeout with 3 seconds left to attempt the field goal.
I think the inconsistent play of both quarterbacks have contributed to the score. Here's Nunes, who prior to this series I thought struggled mightily. big game a week ago, but against Notre Dame early in the game. 3 deep. The linebackers picking up both tight ends. I love this play because he wants to look front side, didn't like what he saw, came all the way back to the far side. Patterson dropped the football. Now again, linebacker runs underneath Tolillo. There's no way. John Elway can't fit this in. I don't know why Josh Nunes is trying. Big play by Farley set up Notre Dame's only points.
So Williamson to attempt the field goal on what would be the final play of the half. You see Nunes last week and today. This will be a 48-yard Williamson attempt.
A lot of trouble from the snappers tonight on the field goals.
Good snap that time, and the kick by Williamson is on target. So from 48 yards, Nunes directing Stanford down the field on the final drive of the half after they took over on downs. A botched Notre Dame field goal attempt, and they turn it into another field goal to up their lead to 7 as we go to Alex.
So, Coach, you get the field goal, gets you a 7-point lead. How important is it to have that lead going into the half?
It's important, but we're not taking advantage of opportunities. We got to get down there. We got to score. Defense is playing well, limiting them to 3 points, but we got to score more points. We got to get after because it's going to be a great second half. What opportunity do you feel like you missed most in the first half? Well, we had two other chances inside the 30-yard line. We threw an interception, and we got a kick blocked. We got to score more points because, they're going to come back in the second half. Looked like your quarterback found some good rhythm on that last drive there. What changed for him? Nothing, just settled in. Settled into the game. He got hit a couple times sometimes, which is exactly what you need. But he's ready to play in the second half. You've talked to him all week long about being consistent. What do you tell him at the half? Just to play his game. Just play his game. We don't need to do anything outside of our scheme. We just got to do it better. All right, Coach. Thank you. I'll let you go.
So Jordan Williamson with a career-long 48-yard field goal makes it 10-3 at halftime. Now the Discover Card halftime report, the halftime performance of the Notre Dame band at NBCSports.com as we go to Jimmy Roberts in our New York studio.
Welcome to the Discover Card halftime report, brought to you by Discover Card. It pays to switch. It pays to discover. You're watching Notre Dame football, presented by the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1.
You know what you can do. I know what you can do.
The atmosphere has been really crazy. When Stanford's here, all bets are off.
We need to find a way to beat Stanford.
And it's intercepted. Bennett Jackson picks it off, and it's easy pickings. Intercepted by Matthias Farley. He's sacked, fumble, recovered by Stanford for a touchdown. And so we begin the second half. Not far from the Golden Dome at Notre Dame Stadium, with Stanford leading 10-3 and Williamson to kick it off. George Atkinson is deep, and the ball blows off the tee. So Notre Dame's defense still has not given up a touchdown in the last 14 quarters. The last one, the fourth quarter against Purdue. Fumble in the end zone, accounting for the Stanford touchdown. They have a 10-3 lead. Ball back on the tee as obviously the wind is picked up. And Williamson kicks it down toward George Atkinson, who sees it sail all the way out of the end zone. And Notre Dame will begin on the 25-yard line as we check in with Alex.
Hey, Tom. Well, head coach Brian Kelly tells me that he really likes the physicality that his team is playing with. He feels like they've matched Stanford in that department. He says, though, that they haven't executed, especially when it comes to the passing game. Says that Stanford is doing exactly what they expected, loading the box, giving them one-on-one matchups on the outside, and that Everett Golson must recognize that and capitalize on it. He says that Stanford will make them pass in the second half.
Same thing you said, Mike, in that first half. Have to take advantage of those matchups.
No doubt. Interesting quarterback comparison. They're a combined 13 for 31. 2 interceptions by Nunes, and I really believe Golf. Look where Notre Dame put the football. They put it on the far hash, which is their option. Expect something with a Golson roll to the right.
Stays in the pocket and delivers it to Riddick in the flat, and he's back to the line of scrimmage before Trent Murphy bumps him out of bounds.
One of the, you talk about the trials and tribulations of a young quarterback, and I think Alex made a great point, and Brian Kelly saw the same thing I did, which is you get frustrated. When you work on something all week long, you get the matchups you want, your quarterback has to recognize them, mostly pre-snap. He's fine when the play breaks down, but pre-snap, execute, understand it.
So bad play on first down, lost a yard. Stanford shows blitz. Golson stands in the pocket, throws incomplete. Riddick dropped it. It was behind him.
That time, I give Golson a little bit of credit. I mean, he hung in there. Again, that offensive line picked up the blitz. Heavy interior blitz package. And I think you got to catch that football. I know it's slippery. I know it's a little bit behind. But look, catch football.
So 3rd down and 11 for the Irish on the opening series of the second half.
This is where they like nickel blitz.
Golson flushed from the pocket. Trying to get to the corner, fakes the pass. Gets another couple of yards, but will be only to about the 27-yard line. Chased out by Ben Gardner.
Stanford just rushed 4 that time, and an interior defensive line X stunt where they exchange responsibilities, and Golson's leaving that pocket very early.
So 3 and out on the first possession of the second half. Yep. And Ben Turk in punt formation for Terrell to receive. This one not as good as his earlier ones had been, although it takes a Notre Dame bounce. Terrell picks it up on the hop. Crosses the 40 before he's taken to the turf. So 3 and out on the first possession of the second half for Notre Dame. Then they get a 38-yard punt, 5-yard return. Stanford ball.
Yeah.
Notre Dame football is brought to you by the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1. Note the new way. By Xerox. With Xerox, you're ready for real business. By Discover Card. It pays to switch. It pays to discover. And by Comcast Business Class, because business can't wait. Look inside the Irish locker room. And outside, this big rain-drenched crowd taken out of the game by the play of the Stanford defense. 3 and out on the first possession by Notre Dame. Good field position, Cardinal at the 42. Taylor. Flag is down. Taylor a yard short of midfield.
Another unbalanced line, power football. Cameron Fleming absolutely decleats Calabrese. Look at the extra tackle over here come down on Calabrese. Bang! That's the kind of day it is, folks. You got to stand up and come back and play again. Carlo loses eye discipline. You've got to feel that tackle coming down on you.
But Dylan Bunnell called for the penalty, a holding call. Puts the ball back at the 32-yard line. Now 1st down and 20. Stephon Taylor to the 45-yard line. Matthias Farley had to make a saving tackle as the offensive line of the Cardinal opened up a big hole.
Yeah, Wilkes is going to pull, but watch the tailback cut inside the pull because of the down block by Toilolo. Just a real quick hitter. Good job by Stephon Taylor. Dropped the pad level.
Taylor again. Only a yard this time. It'll bring up 3rd down.
That time Calabrese got the penetration that made the play. And again, unbalanced. If you're a defensive player playing Stanford, you have to recognize conventional versus unbalanced because it changes the gap you're responsible for.
3rd down and 6. Nunes flushed from the pocket. And he'll be sacked. Stephon Tuitt with his 7th sack of the season.
Kavari Russell, the true freshman, does a great job on Jamal Rashad Patterson. This is who we wanted. Press coverage. Patterson's coming back to the football. Now look, he's got his back like a basketball defender. It's not there. When you've got to pull the ball down, now Stephon Tuitt's in his element. At 303 pounds, he's one of the most athletic defensive tackles or ends in the country.
Sipinski punting to Neal, who lets it bounce, and it reaches the end zone for the touchback. 57-yard punt, but no return. The touchback will bring it out to the 20-yard line. Every weekday, the NBC Sports Network has the NFL covered. Go inside the league's biggest stories with Mike Florio and a panel of experts on Pro Football Talk. That's weekdays on the NBC Sports Network.
They get a lot of hits from NFL players who are checking out Pro Football Talk and want to hear what Florio has with all those rumors and Peter King. They do a solid job.
Meanwhile, Manti Te'o and the Irish defense again prove stout, thanks to a holding penalty on first down. And he's now 1st and 10 for the offense at the 20. Option play.
Pitch it. Bad read again by Golson.
Kept it and got a yard. Chase Thomas tackled him.
Used to have a coach used to tell me, when you ran option, pitch keep unless. In other words, keep the football unless you've got somebody driving hard at you. In this case, Chase Thomas is driving right at you. Pitch the ball. You got a chance there if he pitches it out.
Second down and 9 from the 21 of Notre Dame.
Snap. You've got man covered.
Goes inside. Back at the 15-yard line. Trent Murphy first to get there for a loss of 7.
Yeah, Trent, they're having trouble with Trent Murphy, Chase Thomas, Ben Gardner, and Henry Anderson. They're doing a great job with this front. Watch them coming off the edges. Scove to the left, Murphy to the right. Murphy beats a hold by Christian Lombard to make the play. Now he wants to get to Eifert. Man coverage. There it is. That's a mismatch with a tiny defensive back, Terrence Brown. So when you're anticipating pressure and you get man-to-man, that ball has to come out. I put that on the quarterback again.
3rd down 15. They'll choose to run it with Theo stopped short of the 20-yard line by Chase Thomas.
That kid can play, can't he, Tom? I mean, you've said Chase Thomas a bunch of times today. I thought they had a little something going there. And I love this Chase Thomas kid. He's relentless. Point of attack with Murphy. There's the tackle from the inside out. Chase Thomas.
Only a net gain of 1 yard. 2 possessions in the second half, both 3 and out, and the field position being won by Stanford at the moment as the ball rolls dead around the 45-yard line. All-American linebacker Chase Thomas and the Stanford defense controlling the game at the moment. It's 10-3 Cardinal. Another big game for Chase Thomas of the Notre Dame or the Stanford defense as we take a look at who had the edge, brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
At the top of the show, we said to beat Stanford, you have to take the sting out of 44. Hasn't happened. Inside loop, pressures the quarterback. Against Troy Nicholas, swims over top, heavy pressure in the end zone again. Inside, it doesn't matter where you line this kid up. Slides, moves, sees it, attacks it downhill, forces a punt. That kid has had a big game.
And that's a look at who had the edge, brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Stanford takes over at its own 45-yard line. Taylor to the 48.
Thought it was kind of an interesting conversation with Brian Kelly talking about where they were a couple of years ago when he took this job, and Stanford spanks them physically in every way. Last year, Stanford spanks them. What did he tell Jack Swarbrick, the athletic director, after that first Stanford game?
So that's the way we'll be in a couple of years. And here he is, true to his word, as they're going toe-to-toe
Mirror images, man.
Seal. It's a tough yard. Dan Fox, first to arrive on the scene. Spot the ball just across the 50-yard line into Notre Dame territory. And it brings up another third down.
Lewis Nick's out. Ishaq Williams, very gifted outside linebacker, defensive end, in for a pass rush.
They're down and 4. Nunes had a short arm the ball. It was behind Taylor, and he couldn't hold on.
Yeah, I thought Danny Fox waited too long on a 3rd and 4 situation to jump this route. Ball thrown behind, tries to one-arm it.
Neal drops deep.
So 3 and out for Stanford. Zaklinski in punt formation. Neal awaits it.
50-yard line, I'm always in punt safe. You know, they probably aren't going to fake it here, but I'm just always in punt safe in this situation, which they are.
High, but not long. And it goes out of bounds around the 10-yard line. Good job on the punt team for Stanford as the Cardinal continues to lead 10-3. That was a 38-yard punt with no return. .805 to go in the third quarter that has been dominated by the defenses. And the field position game edge to the Stanford Cardinal as they back Notre Dame up again, this time from the 12. First down pass. And a diving catch by Toma. And it is ruled a catch. Good for 5 yards.
I think the distinction that Everett Golson has to make as he goes from being a very young quarterback to a more accomplished quarterback is understanding when it's man, when it's zone, when it's blitz, and understanding when he can rip it and when he can't. That was zone. He took a chance getting that out. Against blitz and man coverage, let your guys make a play.
Sierra Wood. Nice second effort for Sierra Wood as he churned it out for a first down with A.J. Tarpley hanging on. That's a 7-yard gain.
That's good power. You said that right, Tom. Runs right over Tarpley.
So the Irish rack up their initial first down of the second half. Ball to the 24-yard line. Eifert in motion and resets. Golson left the pocket. Didn't have to, I don't think. Did manage to get it downfield toward Eifert. Let's see if it's ruled a catch. No catch. Incomplete.
I think you make a good point, Tom. I think young quarterbacks typically either leave the pocket early or sometimes they kind of float out of the pocket one way or another. Now, right now, there's nothing wrong with that pocket. As a matter of fact, he runs into trouble, into Josh Morrow there. He invites Josh Morrow into his space. If he just hangs in the pocket, he's got a chance.
First down line brought to you by Xerox.
Here comes overload blitz.
Golson in trouble. Has to throw it away again. And maybe it wasn't thrown away. It was just caught. A wounded duck going downfield. Caught by DeVaris Daniels for 15 yards. What about that?
Only one defender to this side of the center. Everybody's coming over here. He understands that they can't pick up all those people, and what a great job throwing it up. And this is what he gives DeVaris Daniels a chance to make a play in man coverage against Terrence Brown.
Well, that was some play by a scrambling Golson that time. And he almost fumbled that snap. Goes to Sierra Wood, and Wood will pick up another Irish first down. That was a gain of 13 yards.
A little momentum all of a sudden.
Gain of 13 for Sierra.
Irish mixing up the runs and the pass. 5 carries, 33 yards for Sierra Wood.
Looks like they're looking for a little bit more pace and tempo right now.
Golson hands it off to Atkinson. And George Atkinson will get 8 yards to the 40.
Mike Golick does a nice job. He's the guy they typically use to pull, and he's going to get up into the hole, bang here, right here, and watch cut right in behind him. Golick pulls, gets on Tarpley. There's the cut in behind him, and Atkinson, the speed back, does a nice job getting north and south and maximizing the game.
Atkinson made some nice moves there. He came into the game averaging over 9 yards a carry. Atkinson again. Good job as Atkinson uses his blockers and picks up the first down.
Body punches, Thomas, right? Body punches. We talked about that reference by both coaching staffs prior to the game. Be patient. Irish didn't get a first down in the entire second half until this drive, and all of a sudden, they're running the ball effectively. And one big play by the quarterback that got him a first down.
32-yard line of Stanford. And a false start against the Irish.
False start by the offense, number 66. 5 yards. First down.
Chris Watt, the left guard, and again, you can't afford these mistakes in a game so close to the vest.
This is not, as we said earlier, 70-63. This is going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes, getting it into the fourth quarter, and then making plays.
5 penalties, 45 yards. 3 for 25, Stanford. First down, 15 now. Golson out of the pocket. Puts on a move and gets to the corner. Everett Golson picks up a first down and lowers his head. And he had a penalty as well. So Everett Golson.
They're going to get
Stanford saying the ball came loose.
Yeah, they're going to get Toma, I believe, on a crackback. Hitting the back.
Stanford ball on a fumble.
Covered by Stanford.
Does a great job out of the pocket, stepping up and through. Now he's going to win here.
Illegal block at the back by number 9.
And here comes what they call the illegal block there. And then the big hit on the quarterback clearly
First down.
comes out. There's the block. Watch the hit on the quarterback, Golson, right there. That's a great job, I believe, by Alex Carter. Stanford ball.
That previous ruling is under further review.
After we went away, the play was reviewed.
Ruling on the field stands as called. First down, Stanford.
Question was, did Everett Golson step out of bounds before the fumble? And the call remains. Here it is. I think it's just too close to tell for sure. Not
the left foot right there. That's real close, and I think you called it right, Tom. I don't think they felt like they had enough with that vision. Plus the shot we just showed you. 2 costly Golson fumbles today. 1 recovered in the end zone for a touchdown, and 1 nullifying a long drive by the Irish there. Nunes on the pass to Terrell, no good, incomplete. Only 2 wide receivers have caught footballs today. Actually, 1 wide receiver's caught 2 for Stanford. This is a tight end, running back oriented football team. Nunes with a handoff to Taylor. Couple yards for Stefan before Manti Te'o puts the hit on him. Great recognition early, and again, I love because he trusts what he sees. Watch how quickly he reads this. Fullback in front of tailback. Look how quick he comes downhill. He beats the block coming down on him by Kevin Dancer and makes the play. That's intellectual curiosity. That's finishing. That's everything. I love what I saw right there. 3rd and long for Stanford from their own 19.
Empty backfield. Nunes under pressure, throws it up for grabs. And it's incomplete. Ertz was closest to it in the white of Stanford, with Matthias Farley, who has an interception already today, running right with him.
Bob Diaco doesn't often bring the house, but he does this time. Fox comes free. Teo gets a hit. It's called zero coverage. That means there's no free safety and man-to-man across the board. Matthias Farley, an interception and a big play in coverage.
Zaklinski, punt formation. Neal has a return. Made the first man miss. And falls forward to the 48-yard line. So Devontae Neal tackled by Alex Stepniak. 41-yard punt with 8 on the return. And live from New York tonight, an all-new Saturday Night Live with Christina Applegate and Passion Pit. That's Saturday Night Live, all new tonight, 11:30, 10:30 Central, here on NBC.
Are you a Passion Pit fan, Tom?
Mike, I can't say that I am or am not.
How about Christina Applegate?
Tonight,
she's been good for years.
Yes. Tonight may be my first chance to listen to Passion Pit. I like it. First down, Irish, 48-yard line. Had the long drive nullified by the fumble last possession. See if they can regain the momentum. Wilson fakes. Under duress. Back to the line of scrimmage. David Perry covers him.
A lot of pressure there. Henry Anderson, the goose, forcing him out of the pocket. Perry, not only a defensive tackle, shows up at fullback sometimes. $320-pound fullback.
Second down run by Sierra Wood. The 45-yard line. It's going to bring up a third down. Some of the fans may be wondering, do you go to Tommy Rees? And to me, he just has no escapability under the teeth of this pressure that Stanford puts on you.
And Stanford's going to hit you. And they don't care about their defensive backfield. They'll bring 5, 6, 7 to get to the quarterback. And you're right, it's a trade-off. Tommy Rees will get the ball out of his hands to the correct receiver early, but he doesn't have the escapability that Everett Colson has.
Rees was knocked out of the game with injury against Stanford a year ago. Empty backfield now. Third down. Colson has a man open, and it's caught by Riddick. 22-yard gain on third down as Golson finds Theo Riddick down the sideline.
They got the matchup and the protection that they wanted, and you need both. Now what you're going to see is a little bit of a wheel route. They get Tarpley, the linebacker, on Riddick. That's a mismatch. Protection up front was excellent.
Here's a run on first down by Riddick. Twisting and turning toward the 20-yard line. Riddick.
Now, Tom, they had a little rhythm to this offense last time until the Golson fumble. They're threatening again. This is where they bogged down the entire game, this area.
At the 21. Sierra Wood picks up the first down for Notre Dame. Jordan Richards, the safety, stopping Sierra Wood, but not until he had first down yardage.
Christian Lombard at the point of attack. I mean, he and Anderson have been going after each other this whole game, and I can't tell you how impressed I am with both of them. This has been so physical.
First down signal from the student section. It's at the 16-yard line. Is this going to be another false start for the Irish? They had a costly one last time.
Remember, they called Braxton Cave early in the game, the center.
The defender did not enter the neutral zone prior to the offensive number 57 false starting. 5 yards. First down.
Mike Golick. Another Notre Dame miscue.
Doesn't take much. And again, here we are, Tom, talking about red zone area and Notre Dame imploding. Last time down here, Golson with the fumble.
Final minute, third quarter. Toss it to Wood. Sierra hit in the backfield, makes it to the 20-yard line, back to the line of scrimmage. Jordan Richards hanging on.
Boy, did he come up and fill quickly. That was an impressive safety play by Richards. Like that kid. A couple interceptions. He's gotten his hands on the ball 9 times this year, Tom, which is an awful lot for a safety. 7 passes broken up, 2 interceptions. At that time, he read that aggressively and made the tackle in the open field.
He is the number 2 tackler on the team behind Chase Thomas. The flag.
It was movement again, I think.
Close start by the offense, number 57.
Yep.
5 yards, second down.
Golick again.
There's an awful lot of movement with this Stanford front. Golick, the right guard. That's a half a hair quick. That's all that is. Anticipating the snap count, they got him. Sometimes you get away with that one, sometimes you don't.
Notre Dame, which has been so good on avoiding penalties and turnovers this season, unraveled a bit here against the Stanford Cardinal as the third quarter comes to a close with Stanford leading 10-3. Back to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1. After a scoreless third quarter, we start the fourth with Stanford leading Notre Dame 10-3. The Irish had a 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line, but then 2 false starts by Golick, sandwiched around a 1-yard run by Wood, and here we are with Golson on a quarterback draw. Murphy on the tackle.
Chase Thomas and Trent Murphy are 2 of the more active outside linebackers in college football. Both of them will kick down into 3-point stances in their sub package. You know what you're getting when you're playing these guys. They're long, they're tough, they play the run, they're disciplined. I think Dark Mason, the defense coordinator, does a great job with these guys, and they're aggressive. They're going to hit your quarterback.
3rd and long for Golson. For the end zone, and Eifert, who has it for the touchdown. You've been calling for it all game.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Trust your protection, and when you get man coverage, throw it up. Let your playmaker make a play. Eifert goes high, goes over Devin Carrington. Look at the protection. They slide to the right. They pick the overload blitz up. And finally, Everett Golson gives his guy a chance to make a play.
24-yard touchdown. Here's Brinz's extra point. It's good. To tie the game at 10. Tyler Eifert, the All-American tight end. 24-yard reception from Everett Golson. Extra point makes it tied at 10. On a 3rd down and 18, Tyler Eifert with a 24-yard touchdown reception, his first touchdown in 20 quarters. And he equals his last 3 games total with 3 receptions today. And now Brinza to kick off. Kelsey Young is the deep man for Stanford. And out of the end zone, touchback. The Cardinal will get it at the 25-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 25.
Tyler Eifert, who has such strong hands that he can hold on to the ball under duress.
Watch number 6, Terrence Brown, come in late with that left arm and try to rip it out. Now, that's pretty good defense right there, but Eifert with the concentration, the hands. Again, Watch all the way through this. There comes the rip. Defensive backs are taught to rip that and separate your arms from the football. That's incredible strength by Tyler Eifert.
And made sure he got down in the end zone, too. Didn't let momentum carry him across. So Stanford, 3 possessions, 3 and outs this half. Here's the pass to Kelsey Young. And Young will pick up a first down for Stanford. That gained 11.
Kelsey Young's a guy I think they feel like they need to find ways to get him touches, whether it's at tailback, whether it's at wide receiver. Here's a little bubble screen coming back towards the quarterback. He makes Calabrese miss. He's one of those guys that's dynamic with the ball in their hands, and Stanford doesn't have many of them, so they've got to create ways to find the football for him.
There's a direct snap to Wilkerson in the Wildcat for a couple of yards.
And that's only their second Wildcat. Tuitt blew that one up, and I'm not sure you're going to win against Notre Dame just coming downhill in Wildcat.
Here's what's happened the first 3 possessions of the second half. Play action fake. Nunes. Sliding attempt incomplete. Ertz.
Tom, when in doubt, that's who they're coming back to. One of those 2 tight ends. It's amazing how a touchdown can energize a crowd. It's hopping in here. Play action. They want either Toilolo or Ertz. The ball's thrown very poorly, forcing Ertz to go to the ground. It's like a knuckleball.
So it's 3rd down and 7. Ball at the Stanford 39-yard line. Nunes. And the ball caught. There's strong hands for you as well. Zach Ertz holds on for a Stanford first down.
As bad a throw as the last one was to Ertz, this is how good this throw is. There's under coverage. Look at 13, Spond. He's going to try to undercut it. That's a small window between Spond and Jackson. The fact that this is a low throw, don't let that fool you. It had to be low because of the corner closing on that route. Great throw, and Tom, as you said, what a great catch.
Notre Dame 49, first down Stanford. Taylor. Dragged down by Lewis Nix at the line of scrimmage.
Thought our conversation with him was a little telling yesterday. We asked him about whether or not their front should be considered amongst the best in the country, and Lewis Nix pretty much looked us right in the eye and said, hey, we shouldn't be considered one of the best. We think we're the best. We're as good or better than Alabama.
Under center, Nunes on 2nd and 10. Taylor, the tailback in the eye, fake it to him. Nunes, his pass on target again, down to the 35-yard line. As this one caught by the other tight end, Toilolo, for 14 yards.
Again, alert tight ends. It's all they're going to. 11, Toilolo. Carlo Calabrese trying to get underneath. You got to be aware, Carlo, where he's going. You got to get under that outside. I know you're in zone, but get under that hip and make that a more difficult catch.
Toilolo out, Ertz back in. First down at the 36 of the Irish. Stanford trying to answer the Notre Dame touchdown of a moment ago. There's a whistle.
The ruling on the field is a completion. That ruling is under further review.
So the Toilolo, yeah, the Toilolo catch under review.
This kid is 6'8". See the football? Foot is in. Ball. Elbow was down, I think, before the ball came out, wasn't it? Let's see. He's got control. I think that elbow hits just before it comes out. It's close, though.
You sure he isn't losing control as the...
That's what I want to take another look at. Yeah, that last look was good.
See, it looks to me like it's starting to come out...
When?
About there.
Is he cupping it? Yeah, it's out right there. That's for sure. The elbow's down. That's another close one.
Difficult decisions for Steve McBride, the replay official from the Big East.
I was talking to Steve before the game. One of the thickest Boston accents I've ever heard. He definitely packs the cat. It depends whether he's cupping it with the left hand or he's losing it. There's a distinction there. If you're cupping it, a lot of receivers do that, one-handed. Taking a while. They might be bringing this back and trying to determine how much time on the clock and what yard line.
As it is now, the ball at the Notre Dame 36.
Yeah, let's see this one more time. I'm still not sure whether he's cupping it. Clearly has it. Now, is he cupping it with that right hand, or is it look, it's coming out, isn't it, Tom?
Looks like it to me.
Right hand. Boy, is that bang bang. I couldn't argue either way on this, to be honest with you. Which would surprise all 6 of my siblings because they think I'll argue anything, Tom.
Here's big Levine Tololo, 6'8". It's 265 La Mesa, California.
The receiver was going to the ground in the process of making a catch. When he hit the ground, the ball came loose and hit the ground. This is an incomplete pass.
Tom Hammond all over that call.
The replay showed the ball hit the ground, therefore incomplete.
So the ball will be respotted after the pass ruled incomplete on replay. Will be at the 49-yard line and a 3rd and 10 for Stanford. Or maybe it won't be 3rd and 10. It's going to be 3rd and about 7. We've got 3rd and 9 there on the screen.
Now they're going to run back and have another conversation where the ball should be spotted.
Right.
Where was the previous spot? Taking way too long.
2 top 20 teams expected to go toe-to-toe today, and it's been just that.
Now, you could argue that the game's been somewhat sloppy. I would agree with you. However, it's wet. You've got 2 young quarterbacks, but I think at the core of this game is the physicality and toughness from both defensive fronts. I love this game.
Which has really caused some of the sloppiness.
No doubt about it.
David Shaw wants an explanation.
See, now our unofficial red line has it on the plus side of the 50. Now it's on the minus side. That's a 2-yard difference right there. That's huge.
Third down and 7. Nunez had plenty of time and a receiver open. It's Terrell who catches it for a first down. So all the respotting and replays and everything else all moot now after that 17-yard strike to Drew Terrell.
They really need a wide receiver to step up and make some plays. Today it's been Terrell, zone coverage. Bennett Jackson leaves them to Zeke Mata in behind the linebackers. Cover 2 situation, 2 deep. Mata comes in late, but a first down stand.
34-yard line. Taylor. Ball to the 32. Remember, at the end of the first half, Jordan Williamson had a career-long 48-yard field goal, getting close to field goal range here if Stanford should stall. Blitz comes from Notre Dame. And the handoff is to Taylor. Picks up another Cardinal first down.
Well, I'll tell you, Khalil Wilkes, the left guard, pulled in the hole, and if he had the ball, he might have scored. There was nobody. Watch him pull into the hole. There's nobody there. Great down block by 73 Cameron Fleming, and then just powerful finish there by Stephon Taylor. Watch him drop his pad level at the end and just finish this run with those big legs. That's good finish.
First down, 24-yard line of Notre Dame. 80 yards on the ground today for Taylor. Xerox bringing you our first down line. A flag, the late one comes in as the tackle is made short of the 20. There'll be a hold against Stanford.
Talk about Notre Dame imploding in that 20-yard line red zone area. Here comes Stanford moving the ball effectively, and now you get a hold.
By the offense, number 96. Grabbed them behind. 10 yards. Replay, first down.
Dylan Bunnell, who donned that number 96 jersey.
Yeah, remember, he's a 320-pound tackle. He's lined up in the wing, and he's grabbing to it from behind.
First down and 20. Ball back at the 34-yard line now.
Wilkerson's in the game. The other tailback, typically he's the wildcat. He's a bigger, stronger version of Taylor.
Changing their blocking. Nunes hands it off to Wilkerson. Tripped up as he crosses inside the 30 by Kavari Russell.
Kavari Russell on the stop.
Good block on Tony Springman. Blocking you can tell how patient these guys are, Tom. You know, a big holding penalty takes them back, 1st and 20. What do? Run the football. Pick up 5 or 6. It doesn't bother them.
Inside the 10-minute mark. Taylor back in the game. Wilkerson out. Nunes. Pass caught by Taylor out of the backfield. Tackled by Fox. Short of the first down, but to the 17-yard line.
Really good job by Taylor on Fox. Here's Taylor. He's working against Fox right there. Watch him over top of him. Fox does a good job forcing him over top. That's what the linebacker's supposed to do. But the quarterback, Nunes, was patient. Taylor makes the catch.
Almost dropped it, but held on. Now he's on the ground. Stephon Taylor hit. Look at him squirm away to the 10-yard line. Determined run by Stephon Taylor. That goes for 7.
Body punches. Danny Fox came in and I thought cleaned his block. Kid keeps running. Watch the strong legs. Fox is going to come downhill and get a big hit on him. Right there. But the legs keep churning, and if he's 215 pounds, he's a load from the waist down. Look at those legs, those thighs keep churning. That's what a tailback should be all about.
The 10-yard line. Taylor knocked sideways at the 9 by Teo.
I think Tuitt got a piece of that sideways too. I mean, I think Tuitt was the guy that got the first hit there, and we've talked about on the other side, Thomas. I think Teo and Tuitt, watch Tuitt close down right from here. There's the hit right there by Tuitt. He made the tackle, and I think he's had a great game.
Ball's right on the 10. Actually, this was a first down at the 11, so they're at the 10-yard line, and they can make a first down. Taylor up the middle. Down at the 3-yard line.
They've got 3 tackles in the game again. They've got that big fullback Hewitt, 250 pounds, and they're just coming after him.
Danny Spahn, the last stop for the Irish as we approach the 7-minute mark, and Stanford threatening. They've not allowed a rushing touchdown all season. 3rd and 3. Taylor caught in the backfield and twisted down by Farley. Came on a safety run blitz, and Farley took him down for a loss. 7-yard loss on the play.
Farley will come off the edge untouched. Just outs. Here's Tololo, and here comes Farley right off the edge. Forces the bounce and makes the tackle.
So 4th down now.
Very aggressive call by Bob Diaco. And let's give this Notre Dame defense credit again, Tom. They haven't given up a touchdown since Purdue.
Jordan Williamson will kick from 27 yards, trying to give Stanford the lead. Williamson's kick is on the way, and it is good. So a long drive by the Cardinal. Farley makes a big play for a loss, but Williamson kicks it through, and with 6:12 remaining, it's a 3-point Stanford lead. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. By Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By U.S. Bank, all of us serving you, member FDIC. And by Sprint. Pre-game rituals at Notre Dame, the trumpets playing beneath the golden dome of the administration building. And there's a look at the iconic administration building. Stanford just got a go-ahead field goal, 27-yarder. 16 plays, 65 yards, consuming over 8 minutes off the clock. Williamson, who just kicked the field goal, will boot it downfield. Atkinson is the deep man. This one fielded right at the sideline by Atkinson. Bounced off one man and another. And he's only back to the 16-yard line. Poor field position for Notre Dame with 6:06 left. And the Irish down by 3. 13-10 Stanford over Notre Dame, and time for our Sprint Unlimited update. All football, no limits. And 2 interceptions by the Notre Dame defense today. But meanwhile, the Stanford defense has been all over Everett Golson. Golson did hit Tyler Eifert on a 24-yard pass on 3rd and 18. The only touchdown for the Irish today. So both coaches who predicted a rock'em sock'em hard-fought game have been true to their word. Here's Golson. That's the option play. He makes the pitch. Sierra Wood. And Wood breaking tackles, crosses the 30. Down to the 32-yard line. A gain of 17. Ed Reynolds stopped him.
And a carbon copy of option in the first half where he kept it. This time, the right move. Thomas is there feathering the pitch. He gets it out there. You make Tarpley miss and get up the field. Nice job that time by Golson making the right decision on option.
DJ Jones had a man occupied out there, too, to help it gain. First down Irish inside 6 minutes. Blitz shown by Stanford. Sierra Wood the other way. Should have cut inside and cut outside. And is taken down by Amanum.
Yeah, Lombard had the edge sealed. There's no way he should have tried to go outside Thoma's block. Lombard gets it here. Now cut it off his butt. Why are you cutting it out wide? Forget trying to make 70 yards. Square your shoulders, get up the field, and take what's blocked.
This time, met at the line of scrimmage and stopped by A.J. Tarpley.
Now, Tom, I sit here and I try to put myself in Brian Kelly's shoes as the clock winds down to 5 minutes and they have a 3rd down situation. With the way Stanford runs the football, you've got to be concerned how many possessions you have left in this football game. If they stop you here and you punt the football, do you get it back?
3rd down and 4. Riddick resets, 2 tight ends. Golson throws it, and it's caught by Jones into Stanford territory. First down Irish at the 48-yard line. Carter stopped him, but not until he had a 14-yard gain.
Yeah, when they moved Riddick from the backfield out here, you knew it was man because the linebacker moved with him. I like the way he stayed in the pocket despite the pressure from Thomas. Good job by TJ Jones against man coverage. He beats Ronnie Harris. Excuse me, he beats Alex Carter. Comes back to the football. That's the key to the entire play, as he comes back to the football for a first down.
Spotted at the 47-yard line of Stanford. First down, Notre Dame. Riddick reversing his field. Stumbled a little bit and then undercut. Flag down, a late flag.
Boy, that came all the way in the back with the back judge.
It looks like it's going to be against Notre Dame.
Yep.
They're their own worst enemy today.
They might get DeVaris Daniels for a hold. Nope. I thought I saw Daniels down the field. I think they got Chris Watt.
Yep.
Ten-yard penalty takes the ball to the Notre Dame 47.
So Watt the guilty party as we put it back at the 47 of Notre Dame now. And first down and 16. Blitz. Golson tripped on his feet still. And down. There's a late penalty flag again as it's to the 49-yard line of Stanford. And Golson, who has a turf toe coming in, limping a bit after that hit.
David Shaw can't believe it. That was a blitz by Scove. Gardner got a piece in the backfield.
So the personal foul. Step off of 15 against Stanford, and Golson was hurt, so here comes Tommy Reese.
That was Uswa Amanam that made the hit.
As we said, Golson had a turf toe coming in. Practiced all week, no problem. But that hit evidently aggravated it. So here's Tommy Reese. All you see is
he gets hit in the head though also. So I don't know what it is.
Could be either one.
Could be anything. But the point of this is now you've got Tommy Reese for the 1st and 10 in plus territory.
That was the helmet to helmet. So Tommy Reese from the 34 of Stanford. Can he do it again? Hand off to Riddick for a yard.
Just to give you a feel for where they are right now, with the ball where it is, it's about a 51-yard attempt, more than you want in a game-tying situation. So you still have to be aggressive, and there's Golson on the sideline being worked on.
No game. So much attention nowadays, of course, to concussions. Take no chances. Tommy Reese, who pulled out wins against Michigan and Purdue, called on to do it again.
Showing overload here. Don't know if they'll do it, but you got 4 or 5 guys on the left side of the center. Now they're dropping out of it.
Will it be another false start?
Before the snap, false start by the offense, number 57. 5 yards, second down.
Wow. Third one by Golick, the right guard. Tom, you're talking about 3 turnovers, 8 or 9 penalties. Those are tough things to overcome against any team, let alone Stanford's defense.
From the 39-yard line, second down and 15. Reese fires on target. Caught by Eifert. Short of the first down, but it's a gain of 11.
Zach Martin does a great job being patient with the next stunt. The left tackle bought time for Tommy Reese. Watch what happens. He disappears, so Zach Martin anticipates, it was Nicholas, anticipated the X stunt. He picked up the goose, Henry Anderson. Tommy Reese made him pay for it.
Nice catch in traffic by Eifert. 1.5 minutes remaining, third down.
They come. Eifert's got one-on-one outside. Top of the screen.
And they come after Tommy Reese. Lays it up for Eifert. Can't get there. And the flag. That's going to be interference. 2 flags.
Tom, that's the difference between Tommy and Everett. We talked about it earlier. Everett's got the escapability, but pre-snap, Tommy makes the right read every time. That was easy. 3 linebackers blitzing, man-to-man on the outside. Just throw it up. That's your guy.
Pass interference by the defense, number 6. Not playing the ball with contact. 15 yards. First down.
They're bringing the house. Terrence Brown gets stuck with the best player on the field. They've got him for hands-on there. Right there is where they're going to call it for. He's trying to identify the football. A lot of fighting going on, but when you put those hands and push, they're going to call it just about every time.
Ball's at the 13-yard line. Notre Dame first down, 1:14. Irish have 3 timeouts left.
Got a double on Eifert with a linebacker who's going to jack him at the line of scrimmage.
Sierra Wood to the 10. Now coming down to the 1-minute mark. Rain falling at Notre Dame Stadium with high drama in the final minute. 7th-ranked Irish, 17th-ranked Cardinal. Theo Riddick back in alongside Reese. 45 seconds.
They're doubling Eifert everywhere.
Theo Riddick bounced off one man, made it to the 5-yard line. Timeout Notre Dame.
That's hard running, man.
So timeout Notre Dame as the rain intensifies with 33 seconds left. Notre Dame down by 3 with a 3rd and 2 at the 5-yard line.
With the rain pouring like this, let's take a step further. Earlier in the game, Notre Dame field goal attempt. High snap, no points on the board. The rain's coming down much harder than it was earlier. It's going to be a tough football to handle. Now, if you're Notre Dame, you don't want it to come down to that. What's interesting is Stanford's double teaming Eifert everywhere he goes now. The reason people at home might be going, why aren't they throwing the football? Tommy Reese is calling run at the line of scrimmage because he has extra numbers in the box because of the double team on Eifert.
Manti Te'o and the defense have done their job today.
I'll say.
.33 seconds. 3rd down and 2. 3 tight ends. Eifert, Koyak, Nicholas. Theo Riddick. Reese under center. Andy Riddick made a sidestep and got nothing, only to the 5-yard line. So it is going to be 4th down. And it's going to be on the toe of Kyle Brinza to try to tie the game. Stanford takes a timeout with 21 seconds. And Brinza's kick will be in a rainstorm.
Thank you.
Brinza, the man who was supposed to be the backup this season behind Nick Tausch. Tausch injured. Brinza got the call. And the young man who was born with a club foot, had numerous operations to correct the condition, has come on this season and been the #1 kicker for the Irish.
Let's not forget the snapper in this situation. We always focus on the kicker. Jordan Cowart, the snapper, had the high one earlier. The holder, Ben Turk. Tom, I know some people will question Brian Kelly's 3rd and 2 decision there, running the football as opposed to spreading the field and trying to throw it. Probably open to criticism, but at this point it doesn't matter. You got to execute a field goal.
22 yards. Kyle Brinza. It is up and it is good.
Snap is good. The hold is flipped. I used to hold. He flipped it there because he lost it for a second, but it did a nice job getting the ball down.
Kyle Brinza kicks the tying field goal with 20 seconds left. It's 13-13. "20 seconds left in regulation. It's 13-13. Stanford and Notre Dame. Kyle Brinza just for the tying field goal. And now he'll tee the ball up to kick it off. And the kicker, Ben Turk, on the left. Kyle Brinza on the right. They combine for the tying field goal. Nunes, the quarterback, will get 20 seconds or so. Brinza's kick deep into the end zone and out of the end zone for the touchback. So Brinza with the field goal in the rainy conditions. Turk with a hold. Struggled but got it down. Brinza kicked it through. Back at Notre Dame Stadium as dusk falls on this rainy afternoon. 20 seconds left, and Nunes just takes a knee as we're headed to overtime.
And why not, right? Great defenses. This has been a fun football game. It really has.
The kind of rock'em sock'em game that everyone predicted we would see.
You know the drill by now. There'll be a coin flip.
So just as a refresher course, here's what happens in overtime. And the strategy is, should you win the toss, elect to defend so you know what you have to do.
It's like being the home team in baseball, right? Bottom of the ninth, you know what you need to do.
Stanford played an overtime game last week, beating Arizona. Notre Dame 3-7. Their last overtime game was in 2010. Remember that game against Michigan State when the fake field goal, the Little Giants play, gave the Spartans the 34-31 victory.
Time. The rules of overtime are as follows. Each team will get one possession from the 25-yard line. If the game is still tied after the second series, you must go for two. The winner of the toss will choose offense or defense. The loser of the toss chooses which side of the field we play on. Stanford, you're the visitor. You're going to call the toss. Tails is the call. That's a tail. That's a head. Tails, heads. Tails is the call. It is a tails. Stanford has won the toss. You'd like to be on defense. Which side of the field would you like to play on? You'd like to play on that side of the field. So you're on offense on that side. First down, Notre Dame.
Well, it's been a first-class matchup between two outstanding educational institutions with their football teams both ranked in the top 20. Notre Dame and Stanford. Stanford wins the toss. They elect to defend. Back with overtime after these messages. Notre Dame football on NBC. Silhouetted against blue-gray October skies, Stanford and Notre Dame are headed to overtime, tied at 13, a game that has been dominated by the defenses.
Lewis Nix gets a piece of the quarterback. Farley with the interception. Gardner hit the end zone. Stanford's only touchdown. Here's the only offensive touchdown of the game on 3rd and 18. Eifert, touchdown. And finally, the hit that knocked Everett Bolson out of the game cost Stanford 15 yards. Brinza with the field goal. And Tom, we're in overtime, man.
And Tommy Reese will be the quarterback as Golson, possible concussion on the sideline after that hit that you just saw. So you begin from the 25-yard line. First snap of overtime. Trent Murphy sacking Tommy Reese for a loss of 7 yards.
And again, Chase Thomas was the drop linebacker that time, and it's Murphy from this side. They thought they had a mismatch. Tommy doesn't pull the trigger, though, because Chase Thomas does such a great job. Nicholas gets beat again this time by the other outside linebacker, Trent Murphy.
Nicholas whiffed on the attempted block. It's 2nd down and 17.
Now it's Art Sledman in overtime to get out of field goal.
Here's the pass, Reese on target, caught by DeVaris Daniels. That's a gain of 9. So they got the lost yardage back +2.
And DeVaris Daniels is averaging about 17 yards a catch. Does a nice job extending and dragging that foot. There's the extension, drags the foot, controls it through the ground. Big 3rd down here now.
3rd down and 8. Tommy Reese with Theo Riddick to his left. Blitz coming. Reese lays it up for Riddick. He caught it.
Wow. And Tom, you called it correct. It was that linebacker X stunt we've seen all day long. Here they come, here and here. Tommy knows he's got to get rid of it with Tarpley in his face. He throws back shoulder, and somehow Theo Riddick locates the football, makes the catch, even though it was great coverage by Thomas.
I don't know how he caught that, but Theo Riddick did. 1st and goal, 7-yard line. Reese with a quick toss, drills it. It's caught by T.J. Jones for the touchdown.
Great catch by T.J. Jones. Ball behind him. Wow. That's not a good throw. He beats Brown inside. Look where that football is. That's as good a catch on a slant pass with the ball thrown that far behind as I've seen.
2 outstanding catches as the Irish put in a big hole, fight their way back for the touchdown. Brinza for the extra point. That's good. Turk did a nice job holding that time on an off-center snap. Irish ball 1st in overtime, take a 20-13 lead. Well, the fans have braved the rain all day. They're now brought to their feet as the Irish, sacked for a loss of 7 on 1st down, come back and get catches from Daniels. Excellent grab by Riddick. Also excellent from Jones. They have the lead. Now Stanford's time to start from the 25. Nunes throws back. Nothing doing. Taylor caught it and Fox stopped him in his tracks. It'll be a loss on the play of 5 yards.
I think Stanford has been one of the better tailback screen teams I've seen in the country this year. But Notre Dame, Danny Fox saw it. And this place is a madhouse. Fox 48 flashes. And Tom, Notre Dame's defense has not allowed a touchdown since September 8th against Purdue.
Well, we saw Notre Dame come back from a loss on 1st down. Stanford trying to answer. Nunes under duress. Got away. Now he's going to tuck it under and makes a nice run out of it. A gain of 13 yards by Josh Nunes.
This kid has better feet than people think. You're going to see immediate pressure from Lewis Nix, the nose tackle. Does a nice job on a slant. Beats the block of Taylor. But watch Nunes gets up. Sprints to the outside, maximizes the game. Remember, he scored 3 touchdowns on the ground a week ago against Arizona.
3rd down and 2.
Field goal does him no good, folks.
Tight formation. Here's the official running in, stopping the play. Did they call a timeout, or was there a penalty? I don't see a flag.
That was their heavy backfield.
Before the snap, timeout, Stanford. their one and only timeout of the overtime period.
So Stanford with the timeout as they had that heavy load formation, bunch, 2 tight ends.
That Dylan Bennell in the backfield again, Tom, all 281 pounds of them.
So ready again now for 3rd down and 2 at the 17. This time, and a give to Taylor. He has the 1st down and more. Still on his feet inside the 5-yard line with Farley hanging on.
Unbalanced formation to the right. The right guard, Kevin Dancer, wins at the line of scrimmage. Taylor does a nice job. Watch the right guard right here. Good job. The center does a good job. Taylor takes it right up the gut. 1st and goal.
So on 3rd down, they get a gain of 12, and it is 1st and goal. Taylor doing that time. Stacked up.
David Shaw choosing to go with what he trusts, which is his run game. Unbalanced again. Notre Dame makes a big hit, but they've got a player down.
I believe it's Lewis Nix, number 9.
Kid's played a whale of a game.
He sure has. Not unexpectedly as far as Stanford is concerned. They talked about him a lot. Lewis back on his feet.
Nix, number 9 at the top of the screen, gets double teamed as he always does.
So here comes Stanford back, 2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line. They trail by 7 in overtime. It's 2nd down. Nunes, the quarterback. They just converted a big 3rd a moment ago for 12 yards. Now trying to punch it in. Stephon Taylor. Still no signal from the officials. It'll be marked just short of the touchdown.
Again, unbalanced to the right. Lewis Nix out of the game. Schwenke in. Extra tackle to the right side. Fullback with a good block. And then Taylor just drops that pad level. He's so strong. You can talk about play action all you want, but I think David Shaw is looking at this thing and saying, okay, I got 2 downs to get it in from inside the 1.
And Lewis Nix, who had to leave for a play after being injured, is back on the field. Inside the 1, 3rd down and goal. Taylor stopped it.
How about this? 4th down.
All right, 4th down inside the 1-yard line. The rain intensifies. That Notre Dame defense, which has been so stout all season long, can they do it one more time after this big hit by Manti Te'o and his teammates?
Te'o spawned. They haven't been scored on since September.
4th and goal. So they're going to review this now.
The initial hit's well behind the line of scrimmage, but Taylor continues to move and twist. You've got to stay with this because now he's going to turn and try to reach the ball over. None of us know when that whistle blows, but he continued to move the entire time. Bennett Jackson, number 2, the corner came in from behind, and at this point it looks like no chance. But watch, he's still on a pile of bodies and still moving. Looks like he loses the ball at the end.
Possession of the ball too, though.
Yep. Carlo Calabrese. Right here, it looks like no shot. Now watch him turn. He's on top of nothing but bodies. Now he rolls. The ball comes loose, and at that point, I can't tell if it's over or not before he loses the football.
Meanwhile, the victory march is playing at Notre Dame Stadium. They have cleared the field after the celebration.
At this point, Tom, I know at the very end he turned his body on top of a bunch of bodies right here and turned, but he loses the ball, and I can't tell when he loses it. Did any part of the ball cross the plane of the goal line? Here's a good look at it right here, I hope. At that point, he's still on top of bodies, and it's really close. Is it conclusive enough to overturn is the question. That last one was really interesting, that last replay. That's the one they're going to look at. I want to see that last replay one more time if we can. Give this kid credit, man. He keeps churning. He's on top of bodies. We can see the goal line underneath, and here's the reach. Right there. He stretches the ball, but I don't know. To me, it looks like he almost gets that ball across before he loses it. And remember, all it's got to be is the tip of the football, not the entire ball. If the whistle blew, it wouldn't matter, but apparently the whistle hasn't blown because they're allowing the replay.
Well, Notre Dame, of course, into celebration mode. And the side judge, who had the best angle at it, ruled he was stopped.
It's out of his hands now. So it's up in the replay official booth, and this is a hard one.
There is no excessive celebration foul because the teams thought that the game was over. The ruling on the field, in fact, stands as called. The game is now over.
Stands as called means no conclusive evidence.
A game that had a little bit of everything, including the outcome to the replay booth. Notre Dame wins it. Manti Te'o in the Irish defense. Man, oh man, oh man. It was a goal line stand for the ages. Overtime against Stanford. It even had to go to the replay booth on that one, and it was a close call. And then Manti and the Irish defense with the celebration. Wow. An amazing performance once again by that man and that defense.
Final score, Notre Dame 20.
At Notre Dame Stadium, the alma mater, Notre Dame, our mother, after the Irish win in overtime over Stanford. Manti Te'o, who had 11 tackles in the game today. Stanford in overtime had a 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Taylor ran for a yard to the 3. Taylor ran for 2 to the 1. And then twice from the 1-yard line, the Notre Dame defense held them out of the end zone, and Notre Dame wins it in overtime. Let's go to Alex.
I said he lost his mouthpiece. I said, we got enough money, we'll find one for you.
Oh, he lost his mouthpiece. Okay, you guys just embracing there. Just talk me through the emotions of the overtime, really, Manti.
I mean, this team will scratch, claw, do whatever it takes to win. Our head coach right here and his coaching staff do a tremendous job in preparing us for situations like this. We walked into the overtime knowing that we just have to stick together and execute. And that's exactly what we did.
And you told them that message at halftime, right? Tell me more about it.
Yeah, sooner or later you've got to overcome some adversity. You can't go throughout the entire season and be ahead all the time. You're going to have to work from behind. You know, our defense is incredible. They haven't let up a touchdown. We gave up the touchdown on offense, and they had never did they not believe that they could hold them out of the end zone. It's just a great group of players.
There was a moment where we thought maybe you had given up a touchdown on that last play. They review it. You guys have to go back on the sideline. Take me inside your mindset. What are you thinking?
Well, you know, it was just a matter of whether the whistle ended the play or not, because there was no question his forward progress was stopped. So it was just a matter of them getting another look at it. But again, credit goes to our defense and our kids. You know, Tommy Rees has to come in. Everett gets a blow to the head, and Tommy comes in and does what he does. He closes.
Manti, how physical and how hard did your defense play tonight?
I mean, we all did well. You know, I mess up sometimes, and my guys got my back. And that's what we're going to do. We're 1 of 11. And, you know, I couldn't do it on my teammates and our offense, too. I mean, it was a full team win, and I'm just so happy that we came out with a victory.
Brian, the BCS standings soon to be released for the first time this season. How excited are you about where you might be in those standings now?
Yeah, I'm really not that much interested in that. I'm interested in really getting better as a team, getting back to work, and enjoying the process with these great kids.
It's a pretty cool scene down here, you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Alex. Did it rain today? I don't think anybody feels it right now.
Not out on that field, Tom.
Look at that. Well,
very cool.
What a game it was between two top 20 teams. Lived up to billing as one of those old-time throwback physical football games. It was just that. And at the end, it came down to Notre Dame defense. And once again, Tommy Rees.
You hit it right on. And it gives Stanford a little credit, but Notre Dame's defense, 4 consecutive games without a touchdown. Tommy Rees comes in, doesn't get flustered, 4 for 4, couple of big catches, and Notre Dame's undefeated and in the conversation for that BCS bowl bid.
It was a goal line stand for the ages there in overtime, and you're right, the Irish do go unbeaten, now 6-0, and certain to rank high in those BCS standings, which come out on Sunday for the first time. For more from South Bend, check out the Notre Dame football postgame on the NBC Sports Network. Plus, for Brian Kelly's postgame press conference, go to NBCSports.com. Next Saturday, BYU comes to town as the Irish take on the Cougars at 3:30 Eastern on NBC. Tomorrow on Sunday Night Football, the Packers take on the Texans. And tonight, an all-new Saturday Night Live. So from South Bend, where the Irish beat Stanford in overtime, Tom Hammond for all of us here at NBC. You've been watching Notre Dame football presented by the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1.